Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And this video is going to be about the vision that I had last night. Now, there is a difference between a dream and a vision. And due to my gift, I will be allowed to have visions. Okay. Dreams, I will forget and they won't last for very long. Okay. Part of doing the Lord's Prayer, most believers that love the Lord and that respect themselves not as being a God in general will be protected from dreams. Some dreams can be demonic, not filled with truth, um, and just more like a fantasy. And a dream can be an attack, but a vision is much different. So when you have a prophetic gift, yours will come in a vision. And a vision that comes while you're sleeping is much different than a dream. For one, a vision doesn't scare you. When you're allowed to have a vision, when you're in sleep mode, you won't be scared. Dreams can sometimes be demonic, and I will very rarely have a dream. Very, very rarely. And I'm talking about once every so many years. Okay. So let me see. Welcome to the live, y'all. Please click a like since you're in here. Amelia, love, hello to you. Yeah, there's people here right now. Amelia Love 627 or Amelia Love 627. Thank you so much for being here. And then please click a like, y'all. So I had a vision last night, and one of the things about me, my visions are true, and I am now equipped with how to read them. Oh, I can't hear you, Amelia Love or Amelia Love. What's the correct way to pronounce your name? Is it Amelia number 1 or Amelia? So if it's Amelia, type of 1, and if it's Amelia, type of 2, because I like to pronounce people's name right. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you, Amelia. I can't hear you, but I can see what you're typing. But for the names, if it's Amelia, type of 1. And if it's Amelia, type of 2. If you want to give me your real name and I call you your real name, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I normally call people by their chat name or whatever it says on the chat, which is what I can read. Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. What's your question, dear heart? First, answer mine. So if you want me to answer your question, please answer mine first, because I asked the first question just out of respect. Who are you calling bro? Because I'm not a bro. So who is bro, Amelia? If you're in here to play around, just your real name, Sabrina. Okay, so no problem, Sabrina. So yes, I'll just call you by your real name. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the likes. So I had a vision last night, and I will explain the history of why I'm having the vision. And I've talked about this on this channel. I've talked about my ex, which I call him an aware narcissist. Basically, he also admits that he's one. He could be diagnosed as one, and I wouldn't even know it. But my ex, which is the last man I was with, is what I would call an aware narcissist. Thank you so much for the likes, and thank you so much for participating. So I had a vision about him last night. A vision, not a dream. So I will explain some of the circumstances. I'm currently, as of right now, in a no contact. I've explained on some of my videos that I will allow contact with him here and there because I do videos about him. Okay. I will not go places with the aware narcissist. I no longer go in the aware narcissist residence, and I have never allowed the aware narcissist in the residence that I am right now. Um, the last time the aware narcissist was in my residence was it's been over 8 years, I would say, because I've been in this place. Let me see. I've been in this place 7 years coming up in like a month or so. And then, yeah, so it's been over 8 years since the, thank you so much, Sabrina. You say that's crazy. I like you. Yeah. And it's called, for me, it's a limited no contact. I pretty much was mostly in no contact, but of course I started this YouTube channel. So some of the things I've been able to talk about regarding the aware narcissist is things that would help y'all and myself. Okay. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for your participation in the chat. I appreciate you so, so much. Oh, thank you for the subscription, dear heart, Sabrina. I appreciate you. And I wasn't trying to be rude earlier, but remember, I'm kind of like a role model, right? So no matter how small or large my channel is, people watch how I move and they listen to how I move, okay? And they listen to how I respond. So what I was trying to teach is don't answer people questions and they ignoring your question, especially when your question is a question that somebody can answer, right? But Amelia, remove the question because I don't need to ask how to pronounce Sabrina. I had a coworker that I loved. Her name was Sabrina. I learned a lot from her. Sabrina's a beautiful name. And when I think about the Sabrina that I knew that I used to work with, she taught people how to get along with me better. Because boy, I tell you, that particular job, oh, it was so many immature and rude people there. And so that Sabrina I used to know, she was much younger than me. I was old enough to be like her big cousin or aunt, right? And she had a hard time with me because she did not know how to ask a question or, do anything without being rude and mean. So she didn't get what she wanted from me. So other people were similar to her. They were very rude, mean, very unprofessional. So another coworker was having a problem with me and I got the job done. Don't get me wrong. These people that I wasn't giving much attention to did not stop me from doing my job. Okay. But one person was complaining about me, and Sabrina told that person, all you got to do is ask her nicely. And it was weird because it got to the point where Sabrina and we no longer had a problem. And I didn't realize it was because she figured out just ask me nicely. That's all you got to do is talk to me. Yeah. Okay, so this video is about the vision that I had last night. So it was about the aware narcissist. So I try to keep people's secrets to a certain degree, or it's a certain time to talk about certain things, right? So I talked about the aware narcissist. I have a playlist called the Lab Experiment. I called him the lab experiment. So you would understand that the minimal contact I was having with him helped me grow and helped me to do these videos. So I had a vision about him last night. Now, I went into another no contact with him several weeks ago. Remember, I don't let him in my house and I don't go to his house. I also don't go places with him. When the aware narcissist, if he asks me out to eat, if he asks me to come to his home, if he asks me to take a walk with him at the park, if he asks me to go to a movie, concert, I go nowhere with this man for safety reasons. Okay. With narcissists, you must put safety first and foremost. So for safety reasons, that's how I live my life. So I had a vision last night, not a dream, a vision. So these were the things that were in the vision. The aware narcissist, which I will point out, this is my ex. So this is a man, because I talk about males and what people will call females or ladies on this channel. But everyone I speak about that's a male is not someone I've been intimate with. So I would like to be fair to let you know that, yes, this aware narcissist was my boyfriend, was my man, and somebody that I loved, adored, and cared for at one time. Okay. So I'm just being honest about that. Okay. I wouldn't have been with him as long as I did if I didn't care nothing about him. Okay. But he is a narcissist, so he will do certain things. For one, when he meets me, he will lie to me. He won't tell me that, hey, I'm really a homosexual. I'm really a down low brother. Okay. I like ass, whether it's a woman's ass, a man's ass. I like pussy and men's booty holes. Okay. A narcissist will lie to you to ensnare you because he knows when he met me that I'm not looking for a homosexual man or a gay man. Okay. He knows that. So what narcissists will do will trick you. Go ahead and ask the question, Sabrina. No problem. I love questions here. It gives us more to talk about. So throughout the years, even though I wasn't allowing the narcissist in my home, I would drop in at the narcissist home. And I'm not dropping in there to have sex. Okay, so don't assume that just because I go to his residence that I'm there for sex. One time I was sent there and it had nothing to do with sex. It was just the Lord was ready for his the Lord was just ready, and it was karma time. Okay, so Sabrina, your question is check your videos, but check the first one. Oh, the other video. Thank you so much for telling me that. Yeah, this one's the good one. Sabrina, I'm not gonna tell my age on here, and it's because of this. It doesn't really matter. I'm the same age anyway. I'm about 12, always. Okay, so consider me a very mature 12-year-old, no matter how old I am. And I'm not trying to be funny. Yeah, my parental father died when I was 13. So just look at me like a real smart 12 or 13-year-old. Seriously. I'm like a genius, but I'm 12. It doesn't matter my age. It really doesn't matter. That, because I don't set myself up for age discrimination. I'm old enough to be on YouTube. Okay. And I'm not going to tell my direct age because, for one, I tell so much about my life anyway. Age don't matter. It's just a number. What should matter is the vision I'm getting ready to tell you about. That's what matters, not my age. Don't care about my age. You should be telling me to get to my vision. So, like I said, I would go to the aware narcissist house. he suffered for some years on getting supply. Okay. So after I thank you so much for joining, y'all. Please click a like. So HG Tudor calls them lesser narcissists, mid-range narcissists. My aware narcissist is probably like a mid-range narcissist or a upper lesser narcissist. If he's a lesser, he's at the higher upper end of lesser, which means he would almost be mid-range. But I suspect he's lower middle range or middle range. So he's the middle of the narcissist. He's the one that kind of got some sense and kind of has some self-control. Just some, not a lot. But he's still going to do a lot of the same stuff other narcissists will do, which will be lie and cheat, manipulate and snare, and really just not be the best mate for you. Okay, it's a dead-end relationship. You're not going to be happy, and it's someone I don't want to be with that kind of man. So some years into the relationship, I was laying with the narcissist. Okay. We were laying together, and the Lord told me this man's homosexual. And it had nothing to do with our sexual activity. If I just based the way this man make love and have sex, I would not know he's homosexual through that sexual realm. I would have to be allowing the Lord to speak to me, and over time noticing other things. Also, I had to start going to some of the homosexual or gay men YouTubers. One of them is DL Whisperer. He's a young man. He's a prior abuse victim too. He was molested from the time he was about 5 or 7 to almost 20 years old by like a 30-some-year-old man. So imagine at 7 years old, a 30-year-old man is having sex with you and you're 7. So DL Whisperer, I love this brother, but he does live as a gay male. Okay, he's not a straight male. He's not bisexual. He announces himself as a gay male. And there's another YouTuber, something plunger. It's another man. He's a very masculine male, but he's a gay male as well. So I learned a lot from those guys. The way homosexual males are now, they a lot of them will not act very feminine. So one time I went to my aware narcissist house, and he struggled. Once I left, he didn't have a life he thought he would have. He didn't want to be a stepfather, but he interacted with my sons. He didn't really want to be a husband, and he shouldn't want to be this stuff. He's homosexual. A homosexual man should not be desiring to be a husband or a stepdaddy. He just needs to tell people he's homosexual, and he's went through 2 marriages already as a homosexual, and he sucked at it. He sucked at being a stepfather, and he always knew what he was. He knows what he is. He's a very attractive man, caramel complected, very tall, and he would be the perfect victim for darker complected men. So if this particular aware narcissist that I was with as a caramel complected man, according to the videos that I watched of a lot of the males that talk about their prison experiences, one thing they will say is that most of the guys that are raped the most, they're light skinned, high yellow, or caramel complected. Caramel complected, they're not chocolate. They're not the color of a Hershey chocolate bar or darker. So the men in prison that are the number 1 targets to be raped, and that will be the most that other men will be attracted to, will be light skinned, high yellow, and caramel complected black males. Okay. Caramel complected black males have a high level of sex appeal, great bodies, and they're normally extremely handsome. So, in a prison scenario, if they're dressed up like a woman or like a girl or lady, and they put makeup and girl clothes on them, or female clothes, or clothes that ladies would wear, these particular men can almost look just like a girl or lady to these sick dark skinned men that have a high liking for caramel complected light skinned men. It's just like with me. I'm light skinned, but dark men like me. So they feel the same way about light skinned men and caramel men. Dark skinned men love to fuck caramel complected, light high yellow. They have a great sexual attraction to anyone that's not their skin color, whether it be a lady they want to fuck or a man. That's just the reality. So I'm pointing this fact out because my ex-aware narcissist was the description of that. He never went to prison. However, he was around dark-skinned men that were most likely jealous and wanted to get that ass. They wanted to destroy him. So always remember this: whether they're an aware narcissist or not, they're still victimized. They victimize. I was victimized because when he meets me and he doesn't tell me he fucks men and he lets men fuck him, he's victimizing me. But the aware narcissist is also victimized as well. Now, I figured this out. In homosexual relationships with men, you have the top and the bottom. Okay. Because of my aware ex-narcissist attraction to women, he would have began as a top. He was in the military. Okay. So I can almost tell you how it began. He was a military man, ex-pimp. So my ex-narcissist would have began his sexual activities with men by allowing men to suck his dick. So he would have allowed men to suck his dick. Then he would have, at some point, because remember, homosexuality escalates. At some point, he would have been the top. So my ex-aware narcissist would have began fucking other men. And some of those men would have been Africans. Okay, because when somebody want to turn you out, they know they want to enter in you, but they will begin by saying or allowing you to fuck them. Okay, so if a man, okay, I'm gonna use a straight relationship. If a man really want to fuck me in my ass, he may allow me to go get a strap on and fuck him in his ass. That's part of the grooming process. Like, hey, you can do it to me first, but what you don't know is they're going to be doing it to you later. So the first thing I would do if a man said, could you get a strap on and fuck me in my ass? I would say, no, dog, I'm cool. Because I already know that he wants to do that to me later. Okay, so in that sense, I'm a little smarter than the average bear. I'll be able to figure that out. Okay, so my aware narcissist, it would have began like this. And this is just my prophetic gift. Okay, so he would have allowed one of these dudes to suck his dick. Then he would have been the top. And later he becomes the bottom. Okay, and this is where the problem only escalates. This is where my aware narcissist is in danger zone, is when he becomes the bottom eventually. So the status of it right now, he would just do both. He would, and I sense that because he's kind of like an aging narcissist, I kind of predict that he's mostly the bottom now. Okay. He's the old man that's laying on his back, getting that pipe. He sure is. That's what he's doing right now as we speak. Okay, so one time I go to the aware narcissist house, but I always keep him away from my house. Okay. He has suicidal tendencies. He has those because he's not stopped homosexuality. Homosexuality is not for the low self-esteem, y'all. If you got low self-esteem and that's a struggle within your family, you ain't got no business being gay, because it's only gonna make your situation worse. And I did this video about this book destroys lives. The Bible teaches you that it's unnatural to be a homosexual. That's not true. It's actually natural. It's a natural part of human nature to be attracted to what you are. So if you develop an attraction for your same sex, that part of it is natural. Now, what's not natural, because in the mental health field, they considered decades and decades ago, they considered homosexuality to be a medical condition, a mental health condition. So way back in like the 60s, and I think maybe even through the 70s, early 80s, the DSM considered homosexuality to be a mental health condition. And that's because parents started taking their therapists or taking their children to therapists when they found out that they were homosexual. Okay, and this is the name. Homosexuality is the name of what it means to have sex with the same gender. Okay, so it's actually natural to be attracted to the same gender, just the attraction part of it. But when it becomes more unnatural is when you get into the sex acts. So it is unnatural to put your dick in another man or lady's ass. That is unnatural and that is disgusting. But the attraction that a man may have to another man is natural. That's why people become attracted to one another. Unnatural would be for someone to have an attraction to like an animal, a different species. So if you become attracted to a dog or a gorilla, but if you are attracted to another human being, in my opinion, it is natural. If you are a lady and you're attracted to another lady, that is natural. And that's the part where a lot of people that suffer with homosexuality, they become suicidal because they're gaslit because somebody slams that Bible at them. It's unnatural. You're a sinner. You're going to hell. So they now want to kill themselves. But it's not unnatural to like the same sex. See, because when you become attracted to people, you can like their personality. You can fall in love with somebody's personality. And it just so happened that they're a lady. Now, I will have a lot of experience with this and I will understand homosexuality because I was almost pulled into homosexuality. Okay. I could have been a homosexual, but I decided that it was not my cup of tea and it's not best for me. And I just made a choice not to be in intimate relationships with girls and ladies. I did this at a very young age, but I was strategic in that area. See, I understood that the natural attraction to the same gender is so strong that if I don't pull out of it now, or I choose not to become part of that, I won't be able to get out of it later. I understood at a very young age how strong the spirit of homosexuality is because it is a spirit and it's not a unnatural spirit like the Bible teaches. They teach that all homosexuality is unnatural. It's taken out of the DSM as being considered a mental health disorder. And this is why psychologists figured out through doing therapy that it was somebody way more crazier than the homosexual that they was doing therapy with. And it was they fucking parents. So they straight down low ass parents, because a lot of those fathers taking their sons to therapy because their son was a homosexual. Some of those fathers was screwing their own sons in the butt. Sure were. Imagine you fucking your son, taking him to the therapist and getting him diagnosed as being a homosexual. And the reason they wanted to get him diagnosed as a homosexual is so that he wouldn't get criminally charged for raping his own son. Okay, so homosexuality was removed from the DSM. It's not considered a mental disorder anymore. And they had to remove it because, like I said, through psychology, the psychologists determined that who is way more crazier than any homosexual that's in therapy is straight people, or people that claim they straight. This is the truth. So, like I did the video on This Book Destroys Lives and Minds, I'm telling you the truth. The Bible says it's unnatural to be homosexual. The way you know that that's untrue is so many people that are homosexual. So don't believe for 1 second that all these people that's homosexual is unnatural. It's natural to be homosexual. I could have been a homosexual. It is natural, and it's a choice. For many people, it's a choice, but some people maybe had less of a choice. Okay, hormones, the imbalance of it, or the different balance of hormones, somebody's hormones being different than mine. Certain foods that pregnant ladies eat can cause homosexuality, I believe. There's a lot of links to it that I believe have not even been discovered yet. I believe when you're pregnant, you got to watch the foods. I don't teach any of my children to be homosexual or gay. I do teach against it. And that is my parenting style, and that is my choice. It is my choice, and it is part of my religious upbringing and my belief system to teach against it. However, I still recognize that it is a natural thing to like the same sex. However, it is unnatural and very nasty and disgusting to put a dick in a shithole. That's the part that's unnatural. The acts, some of the sexual acts that homosexual people do is unnatural, not the attraction. So I'm clarifying what I'm saying. The attraction itself. And most people that have the attraction to the same gender will outgrow it. I know young ladies that have been with a lady or a girl when they're very young, and they still end up being with a man. So it's something you can outgrow too. Okay. It's something you can outgrow, or it's something that you could change. So going back to my vision last night, my aware narcissist, my ex-boyfriend, he suffered when I broke up with him. There's a lot of things that would have happened. He would have used his homosexuality as a comfort. So through the depression that he suffered after I left him, because he did become depressed after I left him. He said he was depressed. Okay. So, but see, you shouldn't do things to make people leave you, right? Don't feel so sorry for people. For one, he's consistently behaving like a homosexual. And throughout the entire relationship, he does not stop sleeping with men. So he should be depressed. That's a depression that he's causing, y'all. Okay. So don't date Scorpios because it's a karmic sign. If you got a bad past, don't mess with Scorpios because they're not there to necessarily be your wife or husband. The Lord allowed him to be with me for spiritual reasons. It's spiritual. Has nothing to do with him being my husband or him being my wife. He was with me to learn a great lesson. Okay. My ex-aware narcissist, you know that old saying they say every dog gonna have a day. He had went through 2 marriages with earth signs, and he was with weaker earth signs. Even if they suspected that he was homosexual, they were too afraid of him to confront him because they were living with him. He was armed and they were more fearful of him than I was. I wasn't married to him. I wasn't living to him. I wasn't living with him. So I'm in a different status and I'm a different zodiac sign. I'm not a weaker earth sign. Earth signs have strength, but not the type of courage that a Scorpio may have. I sometimes wonder why I'm still alive. I know it's because of the grace of the Lord and the mercy that the Lord has upon me. I should have been shot down a long time ago. Okay, so I go in this man's house. He begged me to come to his residence. I hadn't been to his residence at that time when I went years ago, in over 2 years. So I go to his house. I bring about almost $75 worth of food. I'm ready to cook. I'm ready to prepare food. I bring vegetables. He don't want to eat none of the good foods. He just was being a total asshole. So he's in a deep depression. And like I said, when I laid with him in bed some years ago, the Lord told me he's gay. And after that, the Lord gave me the evidence that I needed to confirm what he is. So I go over there. He's very depressed. I mean, just borderline suicidal depression. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? If you would stop sleeping with men and doing what you're doing with men, which you are now too old for it, you know better and you know it's wrong, you wouldn't be so depressed. If you want to get out of your depression, one of the things you could do is stop sleeping with men. I also, at some point on another occasion, I had told him my testimony of how it's possible to stop doing that. And actually, there is a way, if you're more aware, to prevent yourself from getting involved and becoming a homosexual or gay person in the first place. But he didn't know that information. I did, because my mother used to have a radio show and she used to speak against homosexuality and how people could change that behavior. Okay. So due to me having access to some of my mother's teachings, I had a spiritual upper hand on why not to be homosexual, how to stop being a homosexual, and how to control homosexuality. Okay. So I was at the Aware Narcissist house that day, and I told him, you know, he should stop being homosexual, and that would help his depression. Stop doing what you're doing, and stop acting like that I don't know that that's what you do. He said nothing. He just teared up, sat there on the couch. It was a very sad situation. He didn't say he wasn't homosexual. That's the way aware narcissists, that's their way of admitting it. Okay. So when I told my aware narcissist, look, I see that you're depressed, but this is what I suggest. Until you stop being a homosexual and messing around with women like me and think I don't know that that's what you are, you're going to keep suffering this demonic depression. That depression, you causing it on your own. And I talked to him just like this. I stood up over him from a distance, not too close, because I don't want him to go in a rage and snap out, because I done figured him out. But I stand at a distance and I talk to him kind of like I'm his parent. He puts his head down. He's sad. He ain't much he got to say, because I'm not lying to him. And this will be the first time that any woman has confronted him about that. The other women was going to be too scared to say something to him. And some of them may still not have figured it out. I did. Don't date Scorpios, because we're going to figure it out. Because see, Scorpios, we're the most loved by the Lord. I watched a video on 20 reasons why the Lord loves Scorpios. We are a karmic sign. So my suggestion is, if you're trying to run from karma and you got a bad past and you ain't ready to stop it, don't date us. Don't even get with a Scorpio man. But definitely don't get with a Scorpio lady, because we're not scared. If the Lord says this is the time you are to be disciplined, that man had his home filled with shotguns. He was in the beginning stage of collecting his guns. And I still said what I had to say. And I did it out of love. I got tired of knowing that he was that way. And I got tired of watching his on and off depression. And I wanted him to understand what is causing it and that it is possible at any age to stop it. But he has not stopped it. He did not stop it. He continued. Okay. He continues to suffer as an aging narcissist. And as he goes through, the ladies have figured him out. He leans on men. He's an aging homosexual narcissist. He almost just as well just come on out the closet all the way. So I had this vision last night. And remember, I said there's a difference between a vision and a dream. So in the vision, my ex-aware narcissist was getting out of his vehicle. His vehicle is very small. So in the vision, he's getting out of his vehicle. His real vehicle, y'all, because it's a vision, not a dream. And as he's getting out of his vehicle, behind him on the driver's side is a big, large man. Okay? That's getting out as well. Now, in the vision, when my ex-aware narcissist gets out of the driver's side, his leg is in pain. He has a leg injury. Okay. Now, because I have had visions since I was 5, 6 years old, I now know how to read my vision. Okay. I have a gift in this area, so I'm able to read my vision. But I'm just telling you the things that was in the vision. So he's getting out of his small vehicle. All of this means something when it's time to interpret the vision. So he's getting out of a small vehicle, his real vehicle. In the vision, I don't see his license plates. So there's no license plates, but it is his car. And the reason there's no license plates in the vehicle is to interpret this vision, he's still hiding who he is. So no license plates was shown to me in the vision, because to interpret this vision, it means that he's still hiding himself. Now, if in the vision I would have been able to see his license plates, it means that he's trying to fix the problem. But in the vision, the license plates was hid to me. Remember, I know how to interpret my visions now. I don't need to go to a psychic and all of that to interpret my visions. I've been having visions since I was 6 years old. All my visions come true. All my visions come true. I have not had one vision at this point that has not came true. I'm 99.9% accurate. So he's still hiding as a homosexual. So he's getting out of the vehicle. He has a leg injury. The injury of the narcissist's leg means that he's in pain. It's not his leg that's hurt. He's in emotional pain. And this is why. This time when I went no contact with him, it was for different reasons. Okay, remember, I've been in an on and off no contact. I tell y'all I'll stay in some level of contact with the aware narcissist because I do these videos, right? But this time I cut complete no contact. I went no contact again, and it's because of his homosexuality. Now, this narcissist, he has visions about me too. He actually has a gift as well. So he has been made aware through a vision that I have went no contact because he's a homosexual. Intuitively, he knows that my no contact is a discipline and punishment now. I don't have friends that's gay men. Okay. So what happened with me and the aware narcissist, my ex, because we are not intimate anymore, and he continues to sleep with men here and there, I can tell when he slept with a man. Okay. When he's intimate with a man, he will snap at me over the phone and be in a depression and anger. So every time my aware narcissist sleeps with a man, he's an aging narcissist. So when he's intimate with a man and he has allowed a man to enter his body, a lot of men may not let him be a top no more because he's older. Okay, remember, there's sexual discrimination too. So as you get older, especially for men, men will discriminate against you. Okay, so because he's an aging narcissist, no matter how handsome he is, especially if he's dating younger men, they may not allow him to be a top, which means they don't allow his dick to go inside of their ass or their mouth. And it's because, for one, you know, some aging narcissists develop erectile dysfunction. But this aware narcissist, he's okay with that. But just his age, he just won't have the same attraction. Okay. Despite what men say that women reach the wall, men definitely reach it. Okay, there will be more ladies raped in nursing homes today versus men. There will be more men that's beat up in a nursing home. They getting a black eye, they getting their ass beat, they getting slammed on the ground beside their nursing home bed. But there will be more ladies that get dick up in them. They will be raped and molested. Some of the male nurses will go in there and crunch on some old pussy. They sure will. And I don't know, some of them ladies might like it. and say, you ain't raping me, I don't know what's going on. Okay. But if I was in a nursing home, I wouldn't want nobody touching me. Okay. So there will be some sexual discrimination. So what happened last month, beginning of December, my ex-aware narcissist, and I'm not gonna call him a down low homosexual because he's not down low for me. Because when I confronted him about his depression years ago, and I told him that depression could go away if he stopped sleeping with men. He didn't gaslight me. He didn't lie to me. He didn't say, no, I'm not a homosexual. He didn't say that. He didn't get up and assault me. He didn't tell me I was lying. So he's not down low to me anymore because I know his truth and he knows I know his truth. Okay. He's ashamed of his behavior and he has the inability to apologize to me and say, you know what, Irene, when I met you, I should have told you I mess with men. He has the inability to apologize to me. Or he also has the inability to have any remorse for what he's done. He won't have that. He may have remorse or some kind of shame. He feels shame. He feels shame, not remorse. Okay, so my ex-aware narcissist, he looked shameful when I told him that I knew. And the reason I told him that I knew is in an effort to help him fix his depression that he was having. He had already seen a psychiatrist, a therapist. I also advised him to not take their medications. He did it anyway, and it made him worse because he was a drinker and he took the medications and it didn't work out. But, and also as an empathic lady, I really don't love you less because you're homosexual. I don't. I really don't. I understand the condition and I understand that it is natural to be attracted to the same gender. I just feel like, when you get in with people that are not bisexual or homosexual, you should tell them the truth. Or maybe have enough courage not to date them. But this is why he did it. He was an aware narcissist and he thought he had fell in love with me. And he believed that he could stop being with men. And he tried that. He tried to stop it. And he was able to stop it for a while. But one of his men, which I am aware of who that man is, he's a down low homosexual as well. I know this man. Okay, that man is a dark complected chocolate man. And when my ex-aware narcissist first got with me, he left those men alone. He left them alone, barely called them. It's a group of them. And he tried to begin a relationship with me and get out of his homosexuality. He did make an attempt. And that's because of his high level of sexual attraction towards me. But it didn't work because the dark-skinned down low brother called my ex-aware narcissist and told him that he wanted him back at his house. So his man, so my ex-aware narcissist, in the beginning, in the first couple of years of our relationship, his dark-skinned, down-low man, or on and off little boyfriend, called my aware narcissist and said, man, we want you back over here. Okay. Now, when a man has sex with other men, that attraction and that sexual experience is stronger than it can be with the lady. And it will be harder for him to get away from. It's a whole strong demon. This is where, even though I don't like blaming stuff on the demon all the time, this is where the demonic possession of a man that's having sex with other men, it will be much easier for a lady to stop messing with another lady. But when two men mess around, that's a very stronghold. That's a very strong stronghold on that man. So I'm just giving you a little background so you'll understand what's happening. So in the vision that I had, because this is the vision that I had last night, my aware narcissist is getting out of his vehicle. Oh, let me explain this first. So what happened was, over a month or two ago, my aging aware ex-narcissist, I'm not going to call him down low because I confronted him about his homosexuality and he didn't deny it. Okay. So he's not down low for me, but he is down low when he enters the rest of the world. His job doesn't know he dates men. His sons and daughters won't know that he dates men. So he is down low, but not for me, if that makes sense. So we don't have sex anymore because I no longer fornicate. Okay. So I don't fornicate anymore. Okay. So I stopped fornication. And it's fornication, whether you consider it a sin or not. Okay. So when I say fornication, the act of having sex with someone I am not married to, that's fornication. I'm not saying you're going to hell for it or not going to hell. I'm not saying all of that. I'm just letting you know what I stopped doing. And I needed to stop fornicating. And it was a very important thing to stop fornicating, or at least put a hold on it or try not to do it as much. When I first stopped fornicating, I just tried not to do it as much. And now I don't do it at all. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm having asthma issues still, but it's getting better. Okay. I got my tea here. And it was a very important thing for me to stop fornication because I needed to stop this or get better control of it for the Lord to let me know that my aware narcissist and the man that I'm with sleeps with men as well. Throughout our entire relationship, I will be one of the first ladies he was with where, okay, I'm going to try to explain this to the best of my ability. When he was with other ladies, he cheated with other ladies more. Okay. But because him and I had such a strong sexual bond, he really liked having sex with me. And I mean, loved it. But so what happened is we had such a strong sexual bond that he almost became turned off by other ladies. And men can have this. They can be so attracted to the lady they fucking that they become sexually turned off by other ladies. However, the problem with this strong, good fucking bond we got, he has not let homosexuality go. So what happened was, when he was with his wives, he cheated with a lot of ladies, but he was also younger. But when he gets with me, I caught him with some trying to get with other ladies. I mean, but normally I would make phone contact and it just would stop. And the ladies would say, I just thought he was sexy. A couple of ladies would tell me that they had invited him over to fuck and he refused to do it. But they also don't know he's homosexual. Now, my ex-aware narcissist, he is unable to turn me down sexually. And I'm not saying I'm the best pussy out here. I'm not saying all of that. But he had, because of his bond with me, he won't turn me down. I called him right now and said, I need some dick. He's not going to turn me down. And that's because he actually has like a loving nature towards me. It's love. He likes fucking me because of what he thinks is love that he has for me. Okay. And when I stopped fornicating, him and I continue to have a strong bond. And that's based on some feelings that's outside of sex. Okay. So I would say there's some care there that we have for one another. So when my ex-aware narcissist was with me, he was able to control being with other ladies, but he could not control stopping sex with other men. And it's because of this. There was he would send me photos of his men, y'all. Before I told him he was homosexual, he would send photos. One was an African man, a dark-skinned African man. And you know what? On that photo, they had just fucked. My ex-aware narcissist had on like some pants where you could see his erection. And so it was a dark-skinned African man. I think they might have been in the military together. And my ex-aware narcissist, they look like boyfriends, y'all. Now, at this point, he's not deep in his homosexuality. So he still knows not to hug up with him. But my ex-aware narcissist on that photo had an erection. I knew right then that either they had fucked or he was getting ready to fuck him, or the African had already sucked his dick. Okay. I never said anything. I'm not ghetto, y'all. Like, I'm not going to say, you know, I see you send me a photo with your African man. Had he just sucked your dick? It's common sense. I don't need to ask those kind of questions. I don't ask silly questions like that. Yeah, so I'll tell you about another situation too. But anyway, so he sent me several photos throughout the year. There was a conscious. My ex-aware narcissist had a conscious, and he did not want to. And I have to tell you these elements of this story so you'll understand what my vision meant. Okay, so that's what happened with that. So going back to the vision, in the vision that I had last night, I got to tell you this part. So a couple of months ago, my homosexual or bisexual ex-aware narcissist, these men that he's potentially had affairs with and dated, they're now dying. So I no longer fornicate. I done already told him I know he's gay. And myself and the aware narcissist would talk on the phone, and we have somewhat of a friendship that I keep minimal, because the ex-aware narcissist, he has asked me out. He's asked me to go places. He's asked me to come to his residence. He would still like to have sex with me. I just don't do it because I don't want to be in a relationship with a homosexual or a narcissist or a bisexual man. This man is not for me. So I have determined that. And so that is why I only have talked to him as much as I have talked to him, just because I do these videos for y'all. Okay. And y'all watch the videos and comment on them. And it's going to help you. So my ex-aware narcissist, his men are dying now. And I'm talking about men from back in the day. And they are called themselves best friends, but it's they men. So one man died several months ago. He's part of the crew of these guys that they all hang out. Most of these guys in this group, they are down low, but they actively interact and date and have sex with women, all of them. So one of the men died. and they'll speak to me, okay, over the phone. And some of them I met in person. Um, I know when a man is gay, y'all. I'll know, okay? I've met these men as well. So one of my ex-aware narcissist best friends that died, real handsome man. He went to the penitentiary decades and decades ago. I'm talking about my ex-aware narcissist homeboy, his friend, his one of his best friends he grew up with. I talked to him on the phone too. Um, my ex-aware narcissist would always introduce me to these men in person, and if they were out of town, over the phone. So this ex-Muslim, this brother just went to the penitentiary. I mean, was in the penitentiary decades and decades ago, became a Muslim in the penitentiary. Once he got out, he no longer stayed being a Muslim. And of course, he's homosexual. It's gonna be hard to be a Muslim and you're homosexual, especially when you're because you're not supposed to be homosexual when you're a Muslim. You know, you're just not. Christian Muslims, they're not supposed to be homosexual. So this is the second man that's died that my ex-aware narcissist has a connection to. Okay. And I'm not sure if my aware narcissist was sleeping with the man that died a few months ago. I think he's just part of the homosexual down low friendship group. So they might not have been sleeping together. The other brother might have been fucking him. The other brother, the dark skinned brother that's in the group. And my ex-aware narcissist, a lot of these men that he's around are dark-skinned men, and they are targeting him because he's real handsome. My ex-aware narcissist will usually be the most handsome out of the group. So from a beauty perspective, he's like the pretty boy in the group. He's 6'4", caramel complected. He's the pretty boy in the group. He's been turned out. Dark-skinned men done tapped that ass enough time that he is still, right now, as a aging narcissist, he's homosexual. He wasn't able to break it. They didn't hit that ass too much. And there's no Christianity. There's no spirit of faith. There's no correct mother in my ex-aware narcissist life. There's no one to tell him. Well, I told him, that I know what he is. I also had told my ex-aware narcissist, I told him before that he is being victimized by those men. I said, they jealous of you, right? I told him that too. So I told him they're victimizing him. I also told him once before somewhat what they're doing. I've talked to him. He knows. So I'm not fornicating anymore. I don't have sexual relations with the aware narcissist that I used to be with. So now you know how, because he's a narcissist, he's going to try to compartmentalize me. So now I'm like the sister to him that he can kind of be a homosexual around in a subtle way. And also, now since I'm not fornicating, my ex-aware narcissist kind of uses me as a comfort and a relief to comfort him while he's losing his men that he used to mess with and the ones that he didn't used to mess with. These two men that have just died over the past few months, they're homosexuals or down low brothers. And he sent me some recent photos of the one I talked to on the phone that used to be a Muslim that just died, and he's homosexual. I know how to tell a man that's homosexual. And as they continue to do gay homosexual activities, hold on, let me put this on the charger. As they continue to do gay homosexual activities, they will began to look more feminine as well. Um, One of the things down low black men will do. Um, I had an ex father-in-law that was homosexual, and he was open about it. He was married, and he was bisexual. Okay, he was bisexual. I'll call him bisexual because he had a wife, and he fucked and he was caramel complected, and he dark skin would fuck him. Okay, and he liked it. He said. So I had a ex father-in-law that was a bisexual man, and I'll respect him and call him bisexual. He's deceased now, but I'll call him bisexual because he's not living in the closet. Okay, so I will respect him enough and call him bisexual. Okay, so I have this on the charger, y'all. Let me see. Hopefully it's gonna charge. It went down to 3%, y'all. Hmm. If it goes out, I will start a new live. So just in case it goes out, this will be considered part one. And let me see if it's gonna keep charging, y'all. Hold on. If it's gonna, yep, it's gonna go out. So I gotta start a new live. Gotta start a new live. Because this is getting ready to go out on me, y'all. So what I'm gonna do is end this live. This is part one of my vision. So I'm gonna start a new live within the next hour or so. Please like, share, and subscribe. Wow, y'all, it allowed me to resume it. Okay. So yeah, my device went out. So it's good to kind of know. Y'all, I am learning just like y'all are with YouTube. Let me see. It's been about 5 minutes or something. But I'm glad that it resumed and it's allowing me to still do my work here. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at. So what I'm going to do is just see if the charger is continuing to go up on it. So right now I'm at 5%. So before I like get into the lesson, I'm testing to see if it's going to go up. The device will go up in the charge amount for the percents. Like right now I'm at 5%. So I'm going to test to see if it's going to go to 6% before I start talking, because I don't want it to keep going on and off. So what I'll do is put on a little break music while I'm testing that. So I apologize that I started my device out. It was at 52%, y'all, when I started the device, but lives take a lot of it consumes a lot from your device. So normally for you not to have many problems, a device needs to be at least at almost 100%. It's for this particular device. Each device is different, but I am learning as I do these lives. I've been doing the lives for several months, so there's a lot I'm going to learn about the technology and everything. So let's see what the percent is at now. Yep, it's at 6%. So I'm going to let it go up a little bit more. Hold on, hold on. I'm going to give some people some time to like come back into the live. Okay, thank you y'all so much for your patience. So anyway, this video again is about the vision that I had last night. So at this point, I don't need to do a part two because it let me back into the live. So I apologize for the inconvenience and it kicking us out of the live due to my fault. It's not YouTube's fault. It's not YouTube is not in control of how I charge my device and if I don't have it charged up before live. So it went out not due to YouTube, due to Irene. Okay. Because I know that the best situation for my device to be in, if I'm going to be on a longer live, is for it to be at least at 90% or 100%. I began doing this live, the device was at 52%. Okay. So the vision I had last night about my aware narcissist, not a dream, a vision. So I explained to y'all that what went on over the last 2 to 4 months. So there's been 2 men that have died in his prior bestie group and in his friend group. And these are most likely down low homosexuals. Okay. And I have evidence that I'm not even going to mention in this video. I just don't need to, but trust me on what I'm saying about this situation. So the vision is for me to put some closure. So the last few months, what narcissistic men do, and this is an aware narcissist, so I'm not going to call him narcissistic because he's an aware narcissist. He's dangerous to me in many ways. Physically, emotionally, it's a danger zone. It's not good to be with narcissists. Okay. It's not good. But I left the relationship. Okay. But what a narcissist will do is figure out a place for me in his supply chamber, right? So I don't fornicate anymore. I'm not going to sleep with them. I don't hang out with them. I no longer go to his house. So, I can put her in the console me category. So the narcissist has placed me, my ex-aware narcissist has placed me in the console me category because he's like, well, she's already told me I'm homosexual. So she knows about that. So she must be okay with it. I watched this video and it says this about Scorpios, right? It says that one of the ways we get revenge is to make you think you're in control. We allow you to think you're in control, and then at a certain, we just pull the rug from up under you. And I would have to agree with that. That is a Scorpio. We make you feel like, okay. We don't say nothing all the time. So this aware narcissist, he doesn't have a bunch of supply. He's an aging narcissist. He's anywhere from upper lesser to mid-range narcissist, as HD Tudor would say. So he ain't banging with supply like in the way he used to. So because of all the things I no longer will do, and I will name them again, I don't fornicate. I don't have intimate or sexual relations. I don't allow him in my home. I don't go to his home. And I do not with this narcissist. So I'm no longer in his physical presence. Okay. So these are 5 things that I don't do. So I answer the phone and continue to have phone contact. So he's sad, homosexual or not, when you have intimate relations with anybody, whether it be from the past or now, there's grieving that's going on. So the narcissist will grieve over his past supply. And a man that's with other men, they gonna grieve over their men. They sure will. They're humans. All these people are human beings, okay? So and this particular friend that died, both of these men that have died over the past 4 to 5 months, I have spoke to both of these men. One of them, the last one that just died, he's out of town in the Midwest. I haven't talked to him for some years because he's gotten sick. So he's died of his illness. My aware narcissist sent me some recent photos of him, and that man is a homosexual. The photos that he sent me of his ex bestie, that's a homosexual. Like I said, my ex father-in-law was bisexual, and he was a bottom and a top. Okay, so my ex father-in-law, not through marriage, right? Somebody, and I talked about this in this book, Destroys Lives. Me not being married to somebody don't make his father not my father-in-law. I was with a man for quite a while. We were gonna get married, so I'm gonna call the only man that my boys know as their grandfather my father-in-law. My boys called him grandpa. Okay, so my ex-father-in-law was both. He was a top and a bottom. But of course he began as a bottom because my ex-father-in-law began as a bottom in homosexuality because he was molested and raped as a child by a dark complected man. And I think he was a teenager, adult. So my ex-father-in-law was violated. And I'm not talking about my ex-husband's father, not him. So he was violated. So at an early age, he developed an attraction for dark-skinned men. And my ex-father-in-law, my son's grandpa, he was a caramel-complected man. Remember, I talked about earlier in this video that caramel-complected men are a candidate, and this is who is raped a lot in prison. They dress them up as women. Caramel-complected men are very handsome. Okay, they're nice body, sex appeal. So unfortunately, they're taken advantage of, especially in prisons. Okay. And this is why, my son's caramel-complected. When he went through his journey with incarceration, he was put in protective custody because I know what any man will do to a caramel-complected man. White men like them too. White males, dark-skinned males, caramel-complected, high yellow, light skin, but especially those caramel-complected males, they really rape them in penitentiary and incarcerated situations, and will dress some of them up like ladies. So going back to what I was saying about my ex-aware narcissist that I was in a relationship with, my ex-boyfriend, because of the 5 things I named that I no longer do with him, which is be intimate, have sex, bring him to my place, go to his place, hang out with him. I don't do any of the stuff with my ex-aware narcissist, but I will pick up my phone when he calls, and sometimes I'll call him. So these men are now dying because he's an aging narcissist, and his men gonna start to pass away. The ex-men that he was with when he first entered homosexuality, besties, and some of the ones in the friend group that he's not intimate with will begin to pass away. But they're all down low, homosexual, and gay men. Okay? So they're dying. So now my ex-aware narcissist, he's going to put me in a category because as long as you're around, you're going to be supply for an ex-narcissist, right? So he uses me to console him when these men die. Okay. And I do console him because one man I bonded with, especially the Muslim brother that died, I had talked to him several times when I was the ex narcissist girlfriend. Okay. Um, I talked to this man. I sure did. Cared about him too. I met him over the phone. Um, he's a prior Muslim, and I hadn't talked to him in a long time because I'm not with the narcissist no more. And then also the brother got sick, but he lives in the Midwest. So my ex-aware narcissist is telling me he's going to go to the funeral. He's getting advice from me on how to text the people in the Midwest and all of that. Okay. So my ex-aware narcissist, I'm now the counselor over the phone supply. I'm the supply that he can use to help him heal. And he thinks I'm a good supply to do this with because I know and have told him he's homosexual. And he's basically broke down, almost broke down crying about it when he was in his deepest depression about his homosexuality. So he feels comfortable with me consoling him when his men die because I know that he with me and now. It ain't no secret to me. Now, do I go around and publicize it? No. I'm not saying his name on here. I'm not even showing my face. So this is what the aware narcissist does. But I'm a Scorpio, so I make him think that I'm down for it. But when I realize what's happening, the great gift of a Scorpio that we have is once we realize that's what you're doing, that's when and if we realize what you're doing is some form of like a manipulation, we're gonna come for you, but not in the way that you think. So this is what I did. I said, now these men are dying. So as a Scorpio, what I do is I now decide, because now I know what he wants me to do. He's like, okay, you don't fornicate with me no more. Please help me grieve over my men. This is what my ex-aware narcissist is doing. Because now his ex-men will die. And he's had several of them. Even when I was with him, he was with an African man that he used to date before I met him. He dated him on and off for quite a while. He had a hard dick when he was on the photo with the dark-skinned African man. He recently, a couple of months ago, sent me a picture of his bestie. They just as well fucking be kissing on the photo. I'm gonna leave that part out, but I talked to one of my relatives about this situation. Okay, so one of my relatives, I don't disclose my ex-aware narcissist name, but I consoled. Not consoled, but I spoke to one of my relatives about this situation. So this is what I do. So what I'm not gonna do is support my ex-aware narcissist homosexuality. As a spiritual lady, I want to have nothing to do with it. Because number one, he should have told me he was that way when he first met me. And I don't want to support him when he started losing his ex-men. And this is why. I've had several people die since I've known the ex-aware narcissist. 2 of them hadn't even met 25. One of them that died, one of the young males that died, that wasn't even 20 years old when he died, I'll never get over. I will never get over that situation. Now, I went to several funerals. One sister was almost 100. One wasn't 20 yet. One hadn't made it to 24. One hadn't made it to 40. Ladies and two males. Funerals I have been to. All of them had caskets, but one was cremated. Okay. So I'm not just going to not support this ex narcissist, aware narcissist, just because he's homosexual. Number one, I'm not going to support him when his men die because he did not support me enough when my loved ones were dying. So that's the number one reason. Scorpios, we look at that. Where was your ass when my loved ones died? Okay. And that's going to be a big decision maker on how we support you. So I don't want to support my ex-aware narcissist emotionally, emotional support. There's no money he's asking me for. I don't want to support him because his men dying remind me of how much more he could have supported me when my loved one dies. And he supported me to a certain degree. So one of my loved ones that passed away, she was almost 100. So I went to Missouri for the funeral. My ex-aware narcissist met her. That's cool. But one of the things narcissists will never do is complete the supporting of you. They won't complete it. Like, for example, with Daniel. I've been there since he's been in my stomach to now. I consistently support him his whole life. Narcissists can't pull that off. They cannot support you forever. Okay. And when I say support you, I don't mean financially. In this sense, it's probably emotional support. So with this aware narcissist that I was with, yeah, his men dying. Yeah, I know he's homosexual. He knows I know too. We're not having sex no more. He's like an associate / friend. Oh, well. But I had to think about how he treats me when people have died over the past decade and decades since I've known this aware narcissist. Because I've known this aware narcissist over a decade now. I'm not happy with it. So what I do, I teach narcissism. I teach emotional health, and I understand emotional health. So I realize I'm being ensnared. I'm getting ready to become like the therapist that's there to support this aware narcissist when his men die. And that's not the position I should be in because I'm an ex and I'm also someone that he's violated the rights of because the correct thing he should have done was tell me that he was a homosexual or a bisexual or down low man when he first met me. He shouldn't have even talked to me. He know he fucked men. He know he let men fuck them, fuck him, and he shouldn't have been putting me in that position. But hey, he sent me enough photos with even him having erections. You got to understand this. The aware narcissist is trying to tell you what they are, but you're not listening. They sending you the photo of a man every week. That's not a straight man. I'm so glad I'm the type of lady that I am where I'm not in denial and I could figure these things out. A lot of black women would be like, well, that's just his friends. He just always send me pictures of his friends. He's sending you pictures of his niggas, okay? He ain't in high school no more. This ain't no high school shit, okay? Even when they're in high school, they've been doing it. When they be taking them all hood photos, crip, them be they niggas, man. It's more gay gang members than you would ever know. So I realized what's happening. I said, this aware narcissist. He's trying to ensnare me. Okay, I don't fornicate. I'm not intimate with him. I don't go to his house. I don't hang out with him. He don't come to mine. Now he's going to use me as that good old empathic therapist. So every time one of his men die, since I have already confronted him about his homosexuality and down low behavior and bisexual behavior, now I'm the one that he's going to run to when his men die, when he's grieving. Okay? 2 men done died over the past 4 to 5 months. 2 of them. I consoled him when the first one died. I don't think that one he slept with. That one was sleeping with his friend. Okay. And that one, the first one that died a few months ago, lived with his down low friend. Okay. This one that died is his old bestie. So this one is when my aware narcissist was entering his homosexuality. Okay. At an early age, in his early 20s, somewhere around there, is when he would have entered and began the down low behavior. And he sent me a photo of the brother that just died. Like I said, this was an ex-Muslim. I talked to him on the phone. He was in the penitentiary decades and decades ago. My aware narcissist ex-bestie, which is a guy. I talked to him several times when I was with my ex-aware narcissist. He always let me talk to his men. He didn't really hide it from me. And he would tell his men, this is my girlfriend. Because him and that man weren't together no more. But the problem is, like I said, throughout the relationship, my aware narcissist continued to lean on men, especially when I would discard him. Empaths, we discard too. Okay, so that cycle, that the love bombing, devaluation, discard, and hoover, those 4 stages that's always spoken about. Empathic people, we're discarding a lot too. And we're hoovering too. We getting rid of narcissists, calling them right back. Empathic people do the same shit, but for different reasons. Okay. Our motives may be different, but we doing the same shit. You ain't got to be a narcissist to discard somebody. And you ain't got to be a narcissist because you hoover them back and call them back. You could be an empath and you're doing that same shit. The difference is, if I'm hoovering you back, it might be for some good reasons. I might want to give you $100. Loan you some money, give you some money. I got a gift for you. I don't know. Narcissist hoovering, a lot of times they ain't got nothing but trouble. So my ex-aware narcissist, he wants to use me like the church lady to help him get over his niggas. Okay. I play it off. I consoled him when the first man died 5 months ago, since I'm so nice. But now this next one done died. Homosexual men, one of the things that my ex-father-in-law, and like I said, I'm calling him my father-in-law. He's not my ex-husband's father. He's my I'll just say my ex-fiance father. Okay, so he was bisexual, homosexual, down low. He was a married man. One of the things he would do is cross his legs. When a man crosses his legs, watch that. I'm not saying all of them are gay, but there's some tendencies there. Crossing your whole leg over the other, that's very ladylike. Okay, it just is. Originally, you just seen men do it. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of men that were queer or homosexual that did do it. One of them was Marvin Gaye, Daddy. He was a queer, down low, and homosexual. He loved to cross his legs and would dress up like a woman and cross his legs in the house with Marvin Gaye. I'm talking about the father, Marvin Gaye Sr., that unalived his famous son, Marvin Gaye Jr., that was the famous singer. So it's saying this tablet's overheating. Oh, goodness. So I am not going to give up on this live. So it kicked me out. So one of the things I was ending before it went out, I mentioned men crossing their legs. So I go off real live experiences, y'all. I mentioned Marvin Gaye Sr. That was something he did. He was a queer, he was a cross dresser, and all of that. So Marvin Gaye Sr., he would cross his legs and dress like a lady and sit in the house when Marvin Gaye Jr. was a little boy. Okay, that was a lot of the reason Marvin Gaye Jr. had a lot of mental health issues. You know, Marvin Gaye Jr. was a straight man. So when a straight man, he was a drug addict, but when a straight man is in the house with a queer or homosexual father, and he would also Marvin Gaye Sr., he would wear Marvin Gaye Jr. mama clothes, his wife clothes. Watch the documentaries of what the siblings and stuff told about their father. So he would sit in a chair, put on Marvin Gaye Jr. mom and some heels and a dress and sit up in the chair like, what the fuck y'all gonna do about it? Imagine having a son and his father puts on my clothes and got on clothes and crossing his legs in front of our son. This is what Marvin Gaye Jr. went through. He may be better off dead. He no longer has to live like that no more, see that weird shit. I couldn't have did it. I half the time don't have a man in the home anyway, raising my sons. And I'd rather not have one than have some Negro or nigga that I'm married to wearing my fucking clothes and heels and sitting up crossing his legs at my sons. You don't want to teach sons homosexuality. It's not a good thing for men to be learning, for little boys to be learning. They should not be learning homosexuality from their fucking fathers. They shouldn't. So I'm bringing this up to say this. The crossing the legs. Crossing legs is a it can be a professional thing as well. There's different reasons, you know, it can be a professional reasons that men cross their legs, but overall it is more of a feminine energy. So males that I have known to come in the open with me and talk about their down low or behavior, one of them would have been my father-in-law. When I was engaged to his son, pretty much. We were going to get married. So my father-in-law, which would have been my son's only grandpa, he was a bisexual, homosexual man, and he was down low as well. Because the family, we knew how he was, but not everybody else did. Some people thought he was just a married man. He was married to my fiance's or my boyfriend's mother, okay? And he would cross his legs, okay? And like I said, he was turned out by dark-skinned men. So Marvin Gaye father did it. Marvin Gaye Jr. that was murdered by his father did it, the crossing of the legs. And my ex-aware narcissist, my ex-boyfriend, his bestie that just died, this man crosses his legs too. So just watch out for that. You know, you got all these YouTubers, Down Low Whisperer, he's one of the best to expose gay and homosexual behaviors among men. He's dated down low men that claim they really straight, homosexual men. DL Whisperer snitches on them all. So I have experience with some of their behavior. So I'm just going to tell you that's one of the things to watch out for. When you see a man, a black man, especially crossing his legs, watch out for that. That's a potential homosexual. That's a potential down low brother. I just named you three examples of men that did it. Marvin Gaye Jr. father. And when he crossed his legs, he decided to put on Marvin Gaye mama clothes and heels. See, the police would have had to come out to the house. I'm just not going to allow no man to behave like that in front of my son. We getting ready to have a war up in here. I do not believe in teaching little boys homosexual behavior. And if I get an inkling that any homosexual behavior is going on, I'm going to protect that male at all costs. It's not a good thing for boys, and it puts them on the road where they're like we're ex-narcissists. We can't build a proper relationship because he can't let down low and homosexual behavior go. So what does that do? That makes me not have that husband, because I'm not marrying no gay man. I'm just not doing it. So, and it is straight men. I don't need to marry a gay man because it's a straight one out there somewhere for me. So anyway, that's a red flag. So, of course, this video is about the vision I had last night. But in order for you to understand my vision, I had to give you more background. So my ex-aware narcissist, he wants to use me as like a psychiatrist, a counselor that's going to be there to heal him when he's getting over his men. Okay, that's what he wants to use me for. While he's getting over his men, he wants to use me for that. So I'll let him use me a little bit until this last one died. He's lost 2 men, and more of his men gonna die. And I don't want my ex-aware narcissist. I don't care how much I care about him. I'm his ex-girlfriend. So don't have me consoling me about your men that you done fucked and that done fucked you. That's inappropriate. I'm not a certified life coach as of yet. So now if I get my life coach certification and my ex-aware narcissist, he want to become one of my clients and pay me for this shit, then I'll help console him when his men die. But if he's not getting ready to pay me for this, in that case, I need to be paid. Okay. So for y'all, I do it for free, but that ex-aware narcissist, that's somebody that I've been intimate with. Okay. So no, he need to pay me. So what I did, because Scorpios, we love to do this. We love to make you think we there for you. And then once we fully realize what your ass is doing, we gotta discard you. But I did it in a nice way. This is how I did it. I said, I was so nice. I said, now, Irene, have some compassion. Be nice. I did what my grandmother taught me. My grandmother used to say, kill them with kindness. So this is what I did. I said, I sent him this in a text because he's really using me to console him. He sent me the pictures of his friend. And like I said, I've talked to that man several times, bonded with him, ex-Muslim and everything. I commend him for his strength. May he rest in peace. I still want the man to rest in peace because that particular man, if that's a man that my aware narcissist entered homosexuality with, that would have been a man he was with decades and decades ago. That's his ex-man. So I look at his ex-man like I would look at his ex-bitch. Okay. Scorpios, we strict, but we understanding as well. We understand why you love your man. Okay. As a Scorpio lady, I get it. Okay. So this is what I did. I'm like, this Negro trying to use me like I'm his, like I'm some kind of nun. Because that's how the ex-aware narcissist, he treated me like I'm a Catholic nun and he's coming to me in a confession, like I'm one of the Catholic priests, and he's having me console him that his niggas is dying and his friends' niggas is dying. This is the second Negro that done died. So, the word narcissist, he's going to go out of town. And I'm thinking about, I'm not happy with how he consoled me, the four people that I lost over the last decade that I loved. See, if you want to get my support because your man dying, how did you support me when these young people that hadn't even made it to 25, and he offered some support. One of the people that died, there was no support because we were in a no contact, and when that happened, the aware narcissist was acting up on me, right? And we weren't getting along at that time. Okay, so he was acting up, and that really put a ding against him. Because what I did as a Scorpio, I didn't tell him that he should be supporting me, even just as a friend. But I just realized, I said, well, he wasn't properly supportive when I lost the four people that I loved over the past decade. Okay, could have been more. I'm just saying 4 just off the Richter. Could have been more. So I realized what he's doing. So I sent him this text. I said, hello, dear heart, because I'm trying not to be mean. When I say dear heart, I'm in my spiritual world and I'm showing the greatest compassion I could have. Okay. My ex-aware narcissist, he was my first dear heart. When I started using that word dear heart, my ex-aware narcissist was the first person I ever called dear heart. And I used the word, you heard me on a live, I called Sister Sherry dear heart. My ex-aware narcissist, I called him dear heart because I really love this man. Now, when I love this man, I really did love this man. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't love this man. I love this man. Okay, so I said, hello, dear heart. I'm sending this to my ex-aware narcissist because as a Scorpio, I realize he's trying to use me, manipulate me, create me to be supply, to be somebody that can console and talk to him over the phone while he losing other gay men, other down low men, other homosexual men. So I said, hello, dear heart. Have a safe trip as you travel going to see, and I use the man name. I'm not going to use it here, but I said the ex-Muslim brother name. I said, whenever you plan on heading out, I said, may you have a blessed time with your friends and family in the Midwest. I'll just say the Midwest because I don't want to name the states. I normally do not hear from you when you go out of town anyway, so I'm just giving an early goodbye to you. Have a wonderful birthday as well. Because I'm letting them know, since you're trying to use me to console you for your men, you don't deserve a happy birthday from me as well. That's what I'm passive aggressively saying. I said, your mother was very blessed to have you as a son. Remember one time I told him he should have been aborted because he was bragging about kicking this prostitute in the head when he was young. So I want to end this on a good note. So I put in my text, your mother was very blessed to have you as well. I hope, and I mentioned his friend name, but I'm just going to say his friend here. I hope your friend is in a better place now. And I'm kind of being funny here. He always spells the word love, L-U-V. That's a devaluation. When someone says L-U-V and they've known you for a while, that's a lesser powerful word than L-O-V-E. So I said, I love you, but I don't say L-O-V-E because he don't say it. He used L-U-V. And I mentioned that I would do another video about that. So I send this goodbye text basically, right? And when he gets the text, he begins blowing up my phone. I get call after call after call. So he sends me a text back and he says, um, hello, Marie, just text me. And I called you right after your text. I understand you may be busy. I'll catch you later. Have a good day. So he doesn't call me by my first name always. He calls me Marie. So I don't reply and I don't answer his calls. I cannot be his support for any homosexual behavior in his case because he's my ex and I'm not his life coach. If he wants that support, he has to, when I get my life coach certification, he would have to become one of my clients. But that won't happen because when I get my life coach certification, he won't know that that's what I'm doing. Just like this ex-aware narcissist does not know that I'm on this particular YouTube channel. So I end that. So this time I'm discarding him and kind of going to be in a no contact because I don't approve of how he's trying to manipulate and use me to be his nun and to console him about his ex niggas that died. So going back to my vision, let me go in my notes here. So in my vision that I had last night, he's getting out of the car, his car, and he's like getting out the apartment complex. The building kind of looks like the apartment complex that I used to live in when I first met him. It's kind of got that image. There's no license plates being shown. So what this means is that my narcissist is still hiding. He's still hiding and he's still not letting everyone know he's down low, homosexual, or bisexual. So he's getting out of his vehicle in the vision last night, and there's a big, large, caramel complected black man in the back seat, but he's sitting behind the driver's side. So in the vision, this is not a dream, it's a vision. If it was a dream, I would have forgotten it by now. Okay. If I don't write down my dream that I had right away, I'm going to forget it. This is a vision. Okay. So, and I'm getting the vision because this last discard or no contact that I went into with this ex-aware narcissist that I used to be with, I didn't feel comfortable with consoling him about his ex-men and men passing because also I have confronted him about his homosexuality. I have talked to him about his depression, about his homosexuality when I was in his place, when he began collecting his pistols. Okay. So I can interpret my visions. Okay. So, and it's because the angels will tell me and I'm connected with the Lord in heaven. So that's why I can, the angels and the Lord is helping interpret it, and logic, common sense, and skill. It's a skill set that I am now attaining. So the big, large, caramel complected big man that's sitting in the back right behind the narcissist, what that means is that, yes, men do go in this narcissist back door. They have had anal sex with him. So the narcissist gets out of his car. In the vision, it's his real car, y'all. The car he has right now, it's a very small vehicle. So my ex-aware narcissist, in this vision I had last night while I'm asleep, not a dream, a vision. When you have visions, they can come at night, but it's actually not a dream. A vision will be totally different than a dream. A dream is like you scared in your dream, people chasing you. A vision is totally different, right? So my ex-aware narcissist gets out. He has an injured leg. So what this means is he's still in pain about his homosexuality. Okay. So in the vision, I had access to enter the narcissist residence. So we're like at the residence I used to be at when we first met, but in my vision, I was going in and out of the narcissist's house without the narcissist knowing about it. My ex aware narcissist. This is in my vision last night, y'all. And what that means in the vision, when I'm going in and out of his residence, that's actually explaining what was happening when I was with him. I was in and out of the relationship, and I was in and out noticing homosexual behavior. So what the Lord is doing is validating me. Now, one time I was at my ex-aware narcissist house. I was laying in the bed. Now, this part is not part of the vision. I was laying in the bed, and my ex-aware narcissist was having a bowel movement. Now, I've heard people my whole life have bowel movements. People will grunt if they're constipated, but whatever kind of shit was coming out my ex-aware narcissist's ass, he was moaning and groaning like he was being fucked, y'all. I'm laying in the bed listening to this. Now, when he comes out of the restroom, do I confront him about it? No. That's why I ain't shot, y'all. You can't confront people about everything because they're going to put a bullet in you. And at this point, there's too many weapons around. There's actually one near me where I could shoot his ass too, and they're all loaded. So we don't want this outcome. I don't want to have to kill nobody, right? So I got a little class, so I'm not really going to say, damn, dog, you was shitting in the restroom, moaning and groaning like somebody running up in your ass. And see, the problem is I'm not in the restroom with him when he's doing this. So how do I know he ain't sticking his fingers in there and fucking himself? He might be fucking himself on that toilet. I don't know, because I'm not going in there to find out. But I have heard, and I have raised sons. I have lived in a house. I have been married. I have heard men shit my whole life, but I ain't never heard nothing like this. My ex-aware narcissist was, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm hearing all of this from the bed. So he's behaving like getting fucked. But he claimed he's shitting, right? Just disgusting. So in my vision, I was going in and out of the narcissist's apartment. So this is the Lord validating what happened in the relationship. I was in and out of the relationship, and I was in and out putting these clues together that he's a homosexual, bisexual, and down low man. Okay, so I'll put him in all three categories. Okay, so in the vision, I have my own apartment there, but the front of the building is looking like what it looked like where I used to live when I first met the narcissist. Now, what that part of the vision means is that the Lord is confirming in that vision that yes, when you first met him and you lived in that apartment building, he was allowing men to go through his back door and do anal sex on him. That's why in the vision, I'm seeing the very large caramel complected man behind the driver's seat in the back. He's right behind my ex-narcissist. Okay. So the Lord is confirming, yes, this is where you live when you first met him. Yes, you didn't see a man behind him, but yes, he was doing this when you first met him. So I'm getting confirmation through my vision. And the reason I'm being blessed with this vision and getting confirmation is because the last discard I just did over the past few weeks is because he's homosexual. So the Lord liked that about me. The Lord said, good girl. You're a very good girl. I did not put you here to console a homosexual that was sleeping with you and didn't tell you. You're not put here for that, baby girl. That's what the Lord's saying. So the Lord loves me. The Lord likes that I'm not fornicating anymore. The Lord likes that I'm willing to kind of discard this ex-aware narcissist and not support the behavior with his men. Yes. Hold on one second. Hold on. I gotta give Isaiah something, y'all. He wants the key. Hold on one second, y'all. Yes, let me get it for you. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Let me play a little break music for y'all. Hold on. I'm giving you some break music. Hold on, y'all. I'm on a break. Break time.
Fred Meyer always gives you more ways to save, like low prices in every aisle. Plus, you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the app and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Discover more ways to save big. Fred Meyer. Fresh for everyone.
No, it didn't go to a commercial, y'all. That is horrible. I went on a break and it went to a commercial. That really sucks. That sucks, y'all. So anyway, in this vision, I'm at the apartment building that I first lived in when I first met the narcissist, y'all, right? And this vision is validating the road that I'm going on, right? So in the vision, I'm entering in and out of the narcissist residence because in the vision, he has a residence there too. So in visions, not a dream, but in visions, there will be certain things added that may not be true so that the Lord wants you to interpret what's happening. So this is being added in the vision, even though it's not true. See, I know how to interpret this vision because it's my vision, okay? And the Lord gave me the vision. The vision is from the Lord. So in the vision, I'm entering in and out of the narcissist residence because in this vision, he lives there too. Now, I used to allow the narcissist to visit me at that residence. Not right away, y'all. I give time too. One of the reasons the Lord even allowed me to figure out that he's homosexual is because the Lord respected how I waited before I let him enter my home too. So when I first got with my ex-aware narcissist, it took about a year to it took about 15 months before I allowed him to visit me. I did not allow him to enter my residence until I had been with him for a while. Okay. So this has its pros and cons, but that's what I did. And the Lord the Lord likes that I'm just not letting men run up in and out of my house when I'm raising children. So this is one of the things I did. So in this vision, it's making it appear, the Lord is kind of like adding this piece in that I'm going in and out of the narcissist apartment at that residence because it's making it appear, in reality, I only had an apartment at that residence and the narcissist visited me. However, in the vision that I had last night, it's showing me going into the narcissist apartment there because I'm in and out of his apartment doing stuff. Okay. And so, and the narcissist is not in his apartment, but for some reason, the narcissist and the Lord is allowing me in there. And that's the Lord validating that, yes, I was in and out of his life. Yes, he was on and off messing with men. So that's the validation there. Now, in my vision that I had last night, in the beginning, I pointed out that there's no license plates showing on this narcissist car. And I know this narcissist license plates by heart. Okay. And that's because that means that he's still hiding. So the license plates was hid from me because he's still hiding. Okay. So in the vision, there's 3 toilets or 3 restrooms in the residence that I have. So when I go back to my apartment, there's 3 bathrooms, which is actually what I have here. In my residence, I have 3 bathrooms, the current residence. Okay. Now, in the vision, in my apartment, I found 6 toilets. And in the vision, I was very surprised. I was like, oh, I found 3 more toilets here. That part of the vision was to validate that when I heard, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Yes, Isaiah.
I made a home. I made it to the rent office, man.
Okay. Tell you and Daniel. Daniel.
Dan's in his work. Uh,
Daniel and Isaiah.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, be safe. Make sure that door is locked in the workout area. And then Isaiah, don't burn yourself up with hot water, man, in there after you work out. And enjoy y'all workout. Daniel, watch the surroundings when Isaiah is in there doing whatever he want to do.
Okay.
Okay, and answer your phone, Daniel. Have both your phones on.
Okay.
Who has the key to in there?
I have it.
Huh?
I got it.
You have it. Okay, so you got to be responsible for the key. And then your backpack and stuff needs to be in front of the mirror. There. Okay, so enjoy your workout and showers and all the stuff in there.
Okay, all right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, so they like to go work out and have fun at the in there, so they have a lot of fun. We have amenities on this property that I live. So anyway, going back to my vision, and I appreciate y'all patience, working with me because I do have a family and other priorities and things I have to do. The other day I had a bill I needed to call about. So anyway, in the vision, I discovered there's 6 toilets. And I just want to make sure I rebuke all of this spirit off of my sons as well. I want to rebuke all homosexuality spirits off of all my children, Lord. Thank you. We love your son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. We respect all of that, Lord. Please protect my family from homosexuality, suicidal tendencies, and all of that. Protect the family. Thank you. So anyway, I just want to say that because I don't. Okay, so in this vision, there's 6 toilets. There's 3, and remember, there's 3 ones. There's 3 actually in my place now. I have 3 toilets in my current place, but in the vision, there's 3 toilets, but I discover 6. So in my vision, I discover 6. Now, what that part of the vision means is that when I was at the narcissist residence in the bed years ago, and I heard that disgusting bowel movement he was having, and who knows, he could have been putting his fingers in his ass. Narcissists are sexually nasty, y'all. You don't know what they doing with their fingers. You don't know if he got a little sex toy to play with that ass in there. You don't know what the fuck they doing. I did a video about narcissistic males and how they're all this way. Narcissistic males and narcissists, they're all this way. Go to that video I did. I talk about their sexual behaviors, and they're all this way. So when you know somebody's a narcissist, don't put nothing past them. When he making them noise like he having an orgasm in his restroom, and I can't say shit, it's not my restroom. When you in somebody else's house or apartment, what you want to do is get up out of there safely. I choose and pick what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say. Yeah, early in the video, he was depressed, and I told him, that's coming because you keep messing with men. You depressed because you keep messing with men. But that doesn't mean I'm always going to say something. And the reason not to always say something is so you're not shot, killed, and beat up. A person that got a big ass mouth that think they supposed to talk every time they see something, they gonna be killed. They gonna be hurt. They're gonna be beat down. I've never had my jaw broke, none of my teeth knocked out. This stuff hasn't happened to me. Not saying it won't. It can happen. Random people get assaulted, but I've never had those type of violent assaults because I know when to talk. I don't always say everything I'm noticing. That's why I mean, because if I go in there and I tell my ex-aware narcissist, damn dog, you moaning in there like you putting them fingers in your ass. That motherfucker could jump out that restroom and break my jaw. I've already let him know I know he's homosexual. And he's depressed because of it. I did that some years ago as well. But talking to the man, telling him it sounds like he fucking himself in the ass with his fingers, that's going too far. And I might get my jaw broke, right? So, and it's the reason a lot of narcissists. I had a friend, really narcissistic. He was my ex-friend I used to work with. And I told y'all about him when I went to the funeral in Texas. That motherfucker was hoping that my plane fall out the sky. Shit like that. That same brother was in the major city and randomly got his jaw broke for no reason. Right? So people that have too much of a mouth and don't ever try to control it, they get the shit beat out of them. And that's not me. And another thing, a lot of motherfuckers that's always running their fucking mouth, what really amazes me about this, right, is they actually can't fight. So see, they running their mouth all the time. But if you go toe to toe, they may not even have enough skill to fight you back. I run my mouth and I say certain things, but I only say a little, especially to men, because most men can beat me up if they really want to. Most of them, it's rare that a woman will win a fight, but it's, in my case, I may win it in a self-defense situation because you're dealing with a different type of adrenaline. You're adding adrenaline that could make me at that moment stronger than that man because of adrenaline and some boxing skills and the skills I have. And just a motherfucking temper that can whoop anybody. My temper, my skill set, the bloodline I come from, it's possible. Okay. I'm athletic, I keep in shape, and all that type of stuff. So going back to the vision, hold on, because I wrote the note on the vision. So like a four of them. So the toilets, okay. So in the vision, there's 6 toilets. So the Lord is letting me know that yes, when your ex-aware narcissist was on that toilet and you felt the homosexual vibe or something coming from that, yes, you're right, Irene. Yes, you were right about that. So, so those are the elements of the vision: the toilets, me going in and out his place. That meant that I was in and out of the relationship. That big, overweight, morbidly obese, tall man that was sitting behind him in the right behind the driver's side in the vision. That meant that yes, men. That means that he let men in his back door. That's the interpretation of that, because the man is behind him. And see, when you have a vision, the vibe of the vision is being spiritually interpreted while you're having it. So if you don't have this particular prophetic gift, then it may be harder for you to understand what's happening. But I'm spiritually aligned with my vision. I've been having visions, and my visions come true. Okay. Over a couple years ago, going on 3 years ago, actually, I had repeated visions for 12 to over 12 months, about a year and a half. I had repeated visions repeatedly about a death that was coming. That person is now deceased. May she rest in peace, but I had the visions. The first vision of it came when she texted me and she said, I love you with all my heart. My visions began there, and my visions continued through a dream-like form. Now, for me, one of the things about me, when I have certain visions, I will normally go to bed about 2 a.m. in the morning, and the vision will be coming and it will be steady. So the Lord will keep me like in a sleep trance for up to 10 hours. And I normally, a lot of my visions that I have, and I've been able to pinpoint times that the Lord allows them. So I will normally not go to bed on time, and I will wake up about 2 p.m. on a weekend. So like today, Saturday, I woke up at 2 p.m. And that's my time zone that the Lord allows my visions. So that's something I've noticed. Even when I was having my visions about my relative that were passed away in Texas, it also, those visions, the Lord wanted me to go into protective prayer because it actually was going to be something more horrible happening. And so the Lord wanted me to decide what I wanted to do about what could happen. So in those visions, the Lord was letting me know that what was going to happen to her, we weren't going to get her body back. And we would have been like, it would have been like one of the missing found cases. And the Lord wanted me as a immediate relative of hers. The Lord was giving me the opportunity to make a decision as to how I wanted the result to happen, because I believe in death dates. You have numerous death dates, okay? So the decision I made was to ask the Lord for protection, and I had notified the Lord that what was gonna happen, make it not happen. And so we still to this day, I have not found out the bag she was carrying, where she was going to. But I know where she could have been going to. Because the Lord told me a year and a half before the death that she would end up in sex traffickers' hands. Okay? And we were not going to get her body back. So that's what the vision said. So I asked the Lord, I yelled out to the Lord and hollered out to the Lord, please don't make that happen. So the Lord honored my prayer. I was not in fornication. So believe it or not, a lot of prayers that are answered are among people that are not sexually active. Make yourself as much like Jesus' mother Mary as possible, and the Lord will honor and protect you and others around you. So I'm just giving you an example of how my visions work, okay? And with that particular relative that passed away about 3 years ago, I did not, I don't have the vision daily. It's not every night or every day. The Lord is giving me information, not trying to drive me crazy. These visions aren't from Satan, okay? So that's the difference. So this is the vision that I had last night about the aware narcissist. That yes, here's 6 toilets in the vision, because when he was on that toilet, something wasn't right with that. When my ex-aware narcissist, when I was laying in his bed and I could hear him on that toilet groaning and moaning like he was having sex, that was a sign, okay? And so he's in pain about being this way. That's why in the vision that I had last night, his leg was hurting. See, in the vision, it's not his leg that's hurting, it's his mind. Okay. And oh, in the vision, that man that got out, that big morbidly obese man that got out, he got out from the passenger side right behind the driver's side, and the narcissist got out with his leg in pain. And that big morbidly obese man walked behind the narcissist, kind of as a at a distance. So that means in my vision is they're still behaving down low. So that's letting me know that yes, my narcissist, my ex-aware narcissist, I know the truth about him, and he knows I know the truth because I've told him I know, but he's still pretending to the world that he's down low. So, in some sense, the Lord could be saying, be careful with letting everyone know because it's unsafe. I'm not mentioning his name here. Okay. So the ex-aware narcissist is in emotional pain because his leg is hurting, which that means his mind is hurting. In kinetics, okay, in boxing, your power is coming from your foot. I always knew this, y'all. So, like the type of boxer I am, when I box and I'm in self-defense mode, I fight kind of like a dude. I ain't gonna lie. I really, if you fight me, it's not like I fight like a girl. So I'm gonna put that foot out, just like Muhammad Ali would. He steps out with that foot, bam, bam, bam. You boxing. They on the ground. But I always knew, even before I learned about kinetics, I understood that that power is coming from the foot up. See, your power in boxing, it's beginning with that first foot you step out because there's an adrenaline force with that. So, in this vision, the narcissist, my ex-aware narcissist, leg is in pain. But remember, in kinetics, the power comes from your foot and leg and it goes to the upper body. So in this vision, the narcissist, my ex-aware narcissist leg being in pain, his leg, it goes up through his mind. So that means his mind is in pain. You just got to look at it from a kinetics perspective, okay? So he's in shame, and he could have had a homosexual affair when he went out of town. Hooked up with one of his ex-homies, or ex-men, or met a new man. And so in the vision, the morbidly obese, tall man, caramel complected, he has some hair. He walked behind the my ex-aware narcissist because they're just getting ready to go in and have sex, right? So in my vision, the Lord is protecting me by allowing me to see my ex-narcissist leg is in pain and is walking. He's very tall. The other guy, the morbidly obese guy, he's walking about 6 feet behind, and he's a little shorter. He's about 6'2", 6'1", and my ex-aware narcissist is 6'4". So my ex-aware narcissist is still in pain emotionally that this man is behind him and they're getting ready to go in his apartment. And my ex-aware narcissist, both these guys are getting ready to fuck each other. Okay? So the reason that getting ready to have sex, my ex-aware narcissist in this vision, the reason they're getting ready to have sex in an apartment that in my vision is being set up like he's living at my old apartment. Okay. When I first met the aware narcissist, I was a property manager. So my ex-aware narcissist, he had viewed some of the apartments because at some point he was considering maybe living there. I'll just say it that way. But my ex-aware narcissist had actually viewed the apartments because I would like show the apartments off. And the ex-aware narcissist, he was like, well, if I find anybody that want to rent from you, I'm gonna let you know. So in the vision, we're at the building that I first was living at when I first met the aware narcissist. But in this vision that I had last night, it's making it where my ex-aware narcissist had an apartment there as well, but he really didn't. But this is where this part comes in. The Lord is trying to show me that the reason I'm showing like he had an apartment at the apartment you used to live at is because I want to show you that he feels shameful to continue to be a down low bisexual homosexual while you and him were together. And he understands that this last discard that you did over the past 2 months, my ex-aware narcissist, the Lord is letting me know that he understands that that is why you are not talking to him right now. And your ex-aware narcissist is in an emotional pain that you finally, this time, stop talking to him because he continues as an aging narcissist. He continues to be a bisexual, down low homosexual. Okay? Now, the Lord, by showing me in one apartment with the 6 toilets in the vision and showing the narcissist going to that apartment with his man in his own apartment, the Lord is saying to me that he is going to remove any curse or spirit that has been placed upon my life because I had sex unwillingly with a homosexual. Remember, he did not tell me he was bisexual, homosexual, down low. So the Lord is saying that any cursed spirit or anything bad that I could feel or could have came onto me through any sexual activity with this bisexual, down low, and homosexual man that I used to love that was a narcissist, the Lord is having us in separate apartments because the Lord is saying to me, I have separated your soul from his. So my vision that I had last night is the Lord is commending me for no longer fornicating. And he has said to me that, Irene, I have disconnected any soul tie that you had with this homosexual, bisexual, or down low ex-aware narcissist that you used to love. The Lord has just revealed to me through that vision that that soul tie has now ended and that it is over and that I could move on as a free lady and prepare for my future. I am no longer soul tied to this aware ex-narcissist, and the Lord is also in a subtle way thanking me for the work that I have done in that ex-aware narcissist's life, even being brave enough to tell him I'm the only woman that was able to find out why he was depressed. Even his 2 wives couldn't figure out his depression. They know that he was assaulting them. They know that he was arguing with them, but they were not Scorpios. I am the only woman that was able to get down to the root of why that narcissist that I was with was so fucking depressed. Okay, so I am now free of that soul tie. The Lord notified me. Now, that doesn't mean I just got free. I could have been freed of the soul tie 7 years ago. But the Lord is letting me know that for sure I am free. So that was the vision I had last night about the aware narcissist. And my advice, so many Black women are supportive of their down low homosexual and bisexual narcissists. You know, look at the booty bandit. The booty bandit, his name is Flinch something. He spent decades and decades in the penitentiary, raping boys, men. He raped a lot of boys and men that was scared to fight him back. They call him the booty bandit. Okay, let me find him. He was, his name is Flinch something. Let me find it. So that you will know the nature of Black women and how far they'll go to support, you know, these type of men. Fleece Johnson, not Flinch. Fleece Johnson. He's a predator, and he's a he needs the shit beat out of him, and he should never be free. Fleece Johnson has stuck his penis in young males. I think he's victimized all different races, not just Black ones. My son was incarcerated. I had my son in protective custody. If I had found out that Fleece Johnson, just say my son, just because that's why you got to keep your sons out of general population. Take a chance on the guards before these inmates. But Fleece Johnson, he has raped and molested men for decades and decades. Brags about it. They call him the booty bandit. And he's done horrific things to men. He gives 10 ways. He's a disgusting animal that should not be out of the penitentiary. He should still be there. I will post this video in the description box of his ass so that because on this video he's given 10 ways to stop booty bandits. Okay, so he's given 10 ways to stop them, especially for men that are incarcerated. So I'll place this video in the description box below. But the reason I'm using Fleece Johnson as an example, and I don't give a fuck that I called him Flinch at first. Fuck his name, okay? He's raped young males. He's basically, it's a bunch of men running around this real fucked up in the head because of this nigga, right? But the reason I'm using him as an example, no matter what he say he done did and how many boys and males he stuck his nasty dick in and violated them, raped them over and over, it's still a Black woman or a lady, whomever she is, she's a Black woman that marries this motherfucker. So I would never marry my ex-aware narcissist. Never. I would not marry my ex-aware narcissist because I know he's down low, bisexual, and homosexual. But Black women will marry these motherfuckers. And what they're really doing is supporting their down low homosexual and bisexual behavior. Now, Fleece Johnson, is he still fucking or raping or violating boys? Is he still having sex with men? Most likely, yes. He's done it for too long. Now he's in down low phase. He has a wife. Down low men, bisexual men, they always have a pretty woman or a lady. Whatever she look like, they have a lady. And Fleece Johnson's the same way. But he needs his ass beat. Okay. And this is the type of man that if my son Daniel would have been in general population, this is the type of nigga, Fleece Johnson, because of his height and size, that could have easily got a brother like Daniel. And I would have easily got a murder case for killing this nigga. That's why I can't have my child in general population. Because when the rapists get out, I got to do something to the nigga, right? So I don't in those situations. But Fleece Johnson, he's a disgusting narcissist, and he's an animal. I view him just like an animal. But some lady is married to this motherfucker. So it shows you how slow people are, right? It shows you how desperate ladies can be. So I'll post this video in the description box. And let me try to think of anything else in the vision. The vehicle, the license plates I went over, the large morbidly obese man. And I'm not making fun of morbidly obese people. It's an unhealthy position to be in. But this man in the vision was morbidly obese. Oh, and this is why he's morbidly obese in my vision. In my vision that I had about my ex-aware narcissist, it's showing now, my ex-aware narcissist, most of his prior men are not morbidly obese. But in my vision, it's showing that the man that was sitting behind him in his vehicle is morbidly obese because the large size of the man he was getting ready to go into his apartment and mess with and have sexual relations with, where they were both most likely going to penetrate one another. They were going to be doing things to one another. The large size means that the problem is too large for my ex-aware narcissist. It's a large spiritual problem for him. So in my vision, a morbidly obese man is being presented in the vision to show that the problem is large. And that because my ex-aware narcissist has been down low, bisexual, and homosexual for so many decades, it's too big for him. But he's in pain with the leg coming through the mind in my vision because probably, maybe the Lord is saying, this part I won't be for sure about. Maybe the Lord is saying he doesn't want to be this way. Maybe he wish he wasn't this way. Maybe that's why he gets depressed about it. But this is where I talked about this book, Destroy Lives and Minds, talking about the Bible. But in this case, this is where this book can save lives and minds. See, if you want to free yourself of homosexuality, now you got to go to the Bible. Because in the Bible, what does it say? Homosexual, what does it say about him in the Bible? There's something to God. Starts with a D, I think. The 10 best. Hold on. I'll try to find it. Hold on. I can't think of the word to save my life. It's right on the tip of my tongue. It starts with a D. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. It's like a defile, something like that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look up biblically homosexuals or what to God. It's a word like you're someone that's against God. Hold on. It started with a D, y'all. I just can't think about it. Starts with a D. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Um, not condemned. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. It starts with a D, y'all. Y'all probably know the word. I'm trying to look it up. Like defile. They're defying God. There's something to God that's real bad, is what it's saying. Um okay, it's Leviticus talks about don't have homosexual relations with the man, men not to do that. It's detestable is what it says. And whatever the word it starts with a D. It's like it's condemned. Hold on one second, y'all. Hello?
Can you see money for YouTube?
Yeah, I sure can. Actually, I would come get cash because I'm actually on this live. And so because I'm on the live, I can't go into the Cash App.
Okay, Mom.
Or actually, I think I may could try it. Hold on. So come back here and bring the key first.
Okay.
And then I'll do it. So just come back here first, and I'll just let the people know on the live that I have to get off of it for a second because I know how to get back in the live now. So yeah, so just come here first and bring the key, and I'll just put my YouTubers on a break.
Okay. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you. I can't think of what the name is. You're not accepted by God or something like that. It's a word that starts with a D. Hold on. It's forbidden by God, but it's another word that's used. It's a real bad word. I don't even like using it. And I don't like using the word because I don't necessarily believe in it, right? I believe that God loves homosexual and gay people too. I do. I don't believe that they're it's like a word that means kind of like garbage. Like basically like a homosexual is like garbage to God, right? They're not accepted by God, and you know the word it starts with a D, but it represents like they're garbage to God, and I don't believe it. I don't believe that gay, bisexual, and homosexual people are garbage to God. So I don't remember the word. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it right now because, and it don't matter. I don't believe in it anyway. I don't believe that just because someone is gay, homosexual or bisexual, they're nothing to the Lord. Because I don't serve that kind of Lord. I can't be more compassionate than the Lord, right? So it can't be true, that part of the Bible, because if I believe as a human that they're valuable. Now, I was watching a video yesterday and it was about Jaden Pierce and 8 other victims. They were models. They were black models, very handsome men. And this crazy ass white man poisoned them, killed them, and made them mannequins and put them in his exquisite designer store. Now I believe that motherfucking white man that did that to these young black men, I believe he's garbage to God. But look what he doing though, right? But I do not believe that just because a person is gay, bisexual, or homosexual, that they are garbage to God. I think to be garbage to God, you need to do more wickedness. And somebody being bisexual, homosexual, and homosexual or bisexual or gay. Now, I believe it's wicked to teach it to other people. So if this gay man is trying to teach my son to be gay, that's wicked. But if you're not trying to encourage people to be that way and you just homosexual, bisexual, or gay, I don't believe that you are garbage or despicable or dishonored by God. Gosh, I wish I could find this word. It starts with a D. It starts with a D. Let me work a little bit harder to find it, because it's an important word to learn. Hello? Yes, I can. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna put y'all on another break because I gotta get the door for Daniel and Isaiah. So yeah, it's basically a word that means they just garbage and trash. And they're God's denouncing them, period. They're being denounced by God. But it's a horrible word. But like I said, it don't matter because I don't believe it anyway. That part of the Bible is not true. I believe that somebody that's garbage to God, they need to do more than just be a homosexual. I truly believe that. They gotta have a wicked heart. And I'm gonna put the video, the documentary of Jaden Pierce. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna put the that's Isaiah. I'm gonna put the documentary of Jaden Pierce and this Fleece Johnson video in the description box below. So hold on, y'all. I'm just taking another break. That was a commercial. Sorry. I will be right back, y'all. Thank you for your patience. am back, y'all. Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, got my music going here. You know, I got a makeshift studio, y'all. I got a makeshift studio, but it feels very much like a nice studio. I got my music. It felt like a studio vibe when I came in here. So I hope that makes sense. Let me explain this once again. The Lord I worship, I know that I don't have a better heart than the Lord I worship, the one most high. So what I'm trying to explain is this. If I have compassion for bisexual, down low, and homosexual people, and I do not believe that they garbage just because they're that way, I don't believe the part of the Bible where it uses a D word, like they're denounced, they're considered like not accepted or nothing to the Lord. I don't serve no Lord that's like that. And my heart ain't better than the Lord's. So it goes back to this book, Destroys Lives and Minds. I did a video on it. I use logic. I just gave you an example of what I would consider to be garbage to the Lord. And that would be that white man. I will put these videos in the description box. What was done to Jason Pierce and 8 other men. They were models, not gay men neither. These men wasn't no homosexuals, as far as I know. Nobody ever came out and said any of them were gay. And even if they was gay, they were tricked, thinking they was going to enter into a contract with this famous designer, and he Mickeyed their drinks, ultimately making them go to sleep and die. And he took their beautiful black bodies and turned their black bodies into mannequins. Human mannequins, y'all, like kind of like the wax museum type shit. My grandmother used to say this. We had a wax museum right across the street from the restaurant. It was across the street, like up on the corner, from what I remember. And it was a wax museum. And I went in there, it had an eerie feeling. And one of them was kind of like Frankenstein looking. Some of the things in the wax museum that was across the street from my grandmother's restaurant, they seemed so huge. So when it first opened, we had a lot of stuff near the restaurant. It was like a hotel residence type place across the street. We had an elevator company to the left. Later in the years, we had a drag queen club to the right down the street. And then we had the wax museum that came in. And that place, I don't think stayed there for very long. I think they turned it into something else later. But I remember when it first came. And of course, you know, my grandmother's restaurant, we do go to the locations that's around the restaurant and stuff. We had the Union Station. So, you know, buildings and places that were near the restaurant, we walked over there to see what was going on. So I went over there to the Wax Museum. And I'm finding out more and more as I get older that the stuff my grandmother used to say ain't crazy. See, when you're young, you think your grandmother's out of her mind. So, like I said, Jaden Pierce and these 8 other beautiful, handsome black males were turned into mannequins. And I'll put these videos in the description box. It happened right in Alabama. I was just on the phone with my cousin talking about this. I sent my cousin in Alabama these videos. It wasn't in Montgomery, Alabama or nothing like that. It was in different parts of Alabama. So it was in a different part of Alabama. Not in Montgomery or Tuscaloosa or nothing like that. So, what was my freaking point? Going back to what I was saying. So, those particular males were victimized. Oh, I know what I was saying. So, my grandmother's restaurant across the street was a wax museum that came later in the years. So, me and Shauna, We want to go check it out. It's a wax museum. Hey, if we could all walk way downtown St. Louis and that wasn't right next door to the restaurant, of course we're going to go see the wax museum. So it had this eerie feeling when I first walked in there. It wasn't a bunch of people in there because it was new. A lot of people didn't even know it was there. And it was this big Frankenstein looking thing. So I would go over there. We checked it out. So I came back to the restaurant. And my grandmother knew I went over there. So I was like, my grandmother, she wouldn't go. My grandmother like, I ain't leaving my cash register. So my grandmother was like, what'd you think, Irene? I didn't know what to say. I said, it looked kind of scary. I didn't like haunted stuff. Like, stuff. It felt too haunted to me. I didn't like scary movies. So my grandmother told me this. She said, keep on going over there and you're going to be one of them. Of course, I'm thinking my grandmother's out of her mind. I'm like, well, those are like fake people. I said, well, they like made up people, is what I told my grandmother. She said, yeah, keep thinking that. Keep thinking none of them people. And if you keep going over there to the wax museum, Irene, you're going to be one of them. That's what my grandmother told me. So, of course, my grandmother's deceased and I'm in my present day journey. And what do I get to see? Jaden Pierce, lo and behold. Jaden Pierce in Alabama, him and 9 other people. And you know what? When I seen how that crazy ass white man had him on the mannequin in the designer store, it reminded me of the wax museum. So I thought about my grandmother, right? And when she told me, if I keep going over there, I'm going to be one of them. Like basically what my grandmother was saying. See, the thing with my grandmother, she was way ahead of her years, right? She knew way back then that they took people and turned them into mannequins and stuff. So my grandmother was saying, but see, when you talk like that, you're like way ahead of your time. So because it ain't today's world, you're viewed kind of the same, especially by some naive kids. But I didn't go back over there. When my grandmother told me, keep on going over there, Irene, you're going to be one of them. So I didn't go back. I'm like, and I didn't see a bunch of other Black people going in there. Let me see. Let me play this. Fair use, y'all. So Quincy Williams and his friends walked into a fashion boutique in Demopolis, Alabama, and discovered his best friend as a mannequin. I'm going to read this to you one more time, y'all. Quincy Williams, may the Lord bless his soul, and his friends walked into a fashion boutique in Demopolis, Alabama, and discovered his best friend as a mannequin. I sent this short to my cousin in Alabama. And my cousin's husband, he had heard of the case, but my cousin hadn't. But I sent her the video, the short, and the and I know my cousin's husband, he's a Scorpio. So Scorpios, male or female. In this essence, I'm not using female as an insult. Male or female, we like stuff like this, okay? Fair use, y'all. Quincy Williams of Alabama and his friends walked into a fashion boutique in Demopolis, Alabama, and discovered his best friend as a mannequin. I'm going to read it one more time. Quincy Williams, may the Lord bless his soul, and his friends walked into a fashion boutique in Demopolis, Alabama, and discovered his best friend, which is Jaden Pierce, y'all, handsome Jaden Pierce, as a mannequin. The stuff people survive. And so my grandmother wasn't lying. My grandmother told me if I keep walking over there to the New Wax Museum in St. Louis, Missouri, my grandmother told me, keep on going over there and you're gonna be one of them. Woo! This lady was my grandmother was way ahead of time. She was way ahead of her time, but she's not lying. I'm watching the video. I'll put these videos in the description box. I'll put the videos in the description box, y'all. Oh, and not just Jaden Pierce. Quincy Williams was the best friend that found his best friend, his childhood best friend, as a mannequin. And he felt them, y'all. When it's really you, you don't feel like plastic. You feel warm. You feel warm. You don't smell, because this crazy ass white man, he used to work at a mortuary and morgue and all of that. He'd know how to do this to somebody and make them not smell. He done cleaned them out and stuff, took all the blood and waste out of them, like they would do in a funeral home. Okay? And so Jaden Pierce, and I'll post the video of the entire video and you'll see who the other 8 victims were. They all were missing black males. None of them had made it to age 30 years old, y'all. And this is what happened. May the Lord bless Jaden Pierce's soul. I commend his mother for being able to make it through that. And yeah. See, when stuff like this happen to somebody, they got the Lord with them, y'all. But I don't know if the Lord always with me like that. If I go in a motherfucking store and I see one of my relatives as a motherfucking mannequin, it's time to kill. It's time to kill. It's either time to kill or I'm getting ready to die. I might just have a massive heart attack and not survive it. But see, thank you, Lord, for not putting me in these situations. Because I couldn't imagine one of my boys. I done put my son, because this happened to all males. I done put my black son as missing, and some crazy motherfucker, no matter what they race is, makes my child a fucking mannequin against his will. See, I ain't that type of Negro. I just ain't that Negro. But see, I've noticed that people that would just kill up a bunch of people, that type of shit don't happen to us. I think the Lord's protecting us or something. Because the Lord got to protect me from going to the penitentiary. But this is horrific. So I will put this in the description box because it is a nightmare what Jaden Pierce and 8 other males had to go through. All their names will be in the video, in the description below. And you know what I'll do? I'll do another video and individually name all their names. How about that? I wanted to do that for the Anthony Soul victims, mention all their names as well. I really wanted to do that. I sure did. So y'all, let me think, because this video is about my vision last night. So I'm going to try to think of any other elements of my vision. Hopefully, maybe this will help you interpret your visions. Maybe now you know not all your dreams are dreams, they're visions. So let me see, the no license plates, I covered that. The small car. You know what? In the vision where it shows my ex-aware narcissist small car, that even means something. Okay, what that means in my vision is that he feels isolated and like he's in a crowded room. He feels crowded in, like he can't break free. And what that means is he feels like he's being crowded in, like he's in the middle of like monsters. And the monsters he can't break free of is the spirit of homosexuality. Okay? So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, but I'm trying to just make sure if there's anything else in the vision. Oh, also, when I woke up from the vision, there was something indicating something black to me. And it was something personal relating to something black. And what that means is that this is a problem that these black males that are around my ex-aware narcissist, and the black means it's a problem in the black community. Okay, so I just wow, my gift is advancing. I'm able to read my vision. Okay, and that's pretty much that was pretty much the vision. It's not a dream, it's a vision. It's a vision. And so, oh, and another thing that will happen, I will notice if I have my visions. Now, dreams you forget right away. But with visions, prophetic visions, once it's completed, so like the visions I was having of my relative that was going to be killed, I had those visions a year and a half before she was killed. Once she actually got killed, but not in the way that the visions were, because I asked the Lord to not allow her to be killed in the way that the Lord told me she would be killed in my visions. So now, since she's deceased, I will know what my visions represented, but I won't remember them like I did when they were actively happening. Remember, a dream you remember within 10 minutes of you waking up, but a vision you will remember longer. But once the vision completes itself, okay, then the vision is gone. It's like it's not like you forget it. You still acknowledge what was happening, but all the details of the vision, you'll forget it, especially if you don't write it down. Because so a dream goes away right away. It can go away within 10 minutes of you waking up. And also a vision you can have not being asleep. My visions can come while I'm asleep, and they can also come while I'm wide awake. My first memory of a vision that I ever had, when I was living on Linton with my mother, I was wide awake. So my first vision that I remember, I was wide awake. So a vision, I can have it either way. Some people only have their visions while they're awake, but I can have them either way. So yeah, I will put the videos in the description box, and try not to kill anybody, hurt anybody. I know, I will say things like that, sometimes because I do have a homicidal ideation. However, I'm just speaking the truth. See, me, the type of lady I am, I done put my black son in as missing, and then I walk in a designer store and some crazy white motherfucker that made him a mannequin. I ain't cut like that. I mean, I'm not cut like that. Okay. And the mother, you know, the best friend, Quincy Williams, said his name. Yeah, Quincy Williams, Jaden Pierce's best friend, was able to, he first noticed him first. But the mother was able to go in there to see if it's her son. Because see, Jaden Pierce, which is the victim that was made into a mannequin, his best friend noticed him in this designer store. But he went back and told Jaden Pierce's mother, your son is a mannequin. Your missing son is a mannequin in this store, in this designer store. And the mother of Jaden Pierce was able to go in there, and she was able to play it off and act like she didn't know that that's her son and stuff like that. But see, the Lord put that on her to do it that way, because if she hadn't have done it that way, the other 8 bodies that were also mannequins wouldn't have gotten taken from that designer store. But me, I just would have took my fucking son. This mannequin is not, this mannequin my son. So he coming with me, dog. What the fuck y'all gonna do about it? See, I have a ignorant fucking side that can save or hurt me. So if one of my relatives that I done put in is missing, I don't even care if I done put him in as missing. And then I walk into the designer store and I see him there, I'ma just snatch you out with me. You just coming on up out of here with me. And I'm gonna tell the store people, this is my motherfucking relative. He or she coming with me, and I'm calling the police. So I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm just a Scorpio. We try our best. We do. But you know, when the Lord, even as a Scorpio, if the Lord put me in a certain position and I'm not supposed to take them out like that, the Lord will make it where I don't do it that way. But I just don't think I'm wrapped that tight. I'm just not wrapped that tight to see my son, a mannequin. And I just be that motherfucking calm. And I didn't even know where he's been for 6 months. Right? I know myself, right? And thank the Lord that ain't happened to me. Okay. So, but I will put 3 videos down in the description box, and I will put the video of Fleece Johnson, his old disgusting ass. I will put the video of the booty bandit Fleece Johnson. I will put the short of him in the description box, because he's going to be talking about how to stop yourself becoming a victim of a booty bandit. And some sick woman married him and actually lays up with this homosexual after he's raped and violated young and old men that was in prison that did not want to have sex with him. Keep that in mind. 99.9% of the guys that Fleece Johnson went into their bodies with his corrupt penis, 99.9% to 100% of those males did not want to be with him. And they were forced and violated and raped. And he's openly talking about it. And he's free. He should not be free. He should still be in prison for those rapes. So, please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Tune in for more right here with Advanced Insight Channel. And I will put these videos in the description box. Give me about a good 30 minutes, y'all. Give me a good 30 minutes. Check out my description box. I have a lot of good things in there for y'all. Okay, so check out my description box. Please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Thank you. Bye. This video is about the vision that I had last night. Thank you so much for the comments. Sabrina was the commenter. Let me see. I think she said she had a question. Let me see. Oh, okay. So Zaire, Davy, Spice, or just Zaire Davis. God bless you as well. Okay, so hold on. Let me check these comments, y'all. Okay, so Sabrina, that's her real name. She came on here as Amelia Love. So let me see. I'm just making sure I responded to everybody because I got busy with this lesson today. Her real name's Sabrina. Okay, so all those messages are from Sabrina or Amelia, also known as Sabrina. So let me see, because some messages I didn't reply to today. So let me see what they were. That's more Sabrina messages. She's saying, oh my God, that's crazy. Thank you, Sabrina or Amelia Love for subscribing and liking. I appreciate you. So Sabrina, she says she plays Roblox on her iPad when awake. She mentioned something about 8 weeks. I don't know what that means. And so she says she can hear me. So Sabrina says she's 5 years old and she goes to school, but right now she's in kindergarten. I get a lot of like really little kids here, y'all. It's funny because I told her I was 12 or 13. I said I'll always be that age. So that's cute. Everybody's welcome here. So Sabrina or Amelia Love says she's 5 years old. She has a question for me. So she told me, thank you, Sabrina or Amelia Love. She tells me to check my videos. And that's because the first video I did, I came out that live and redid it. So Noah Camera or Camres 67, hello to you. Sabrina saying, check my messages. Someone joined. So Noah Camres is asking if I could play a game. He might be talking to Sabrina. Noah's a he. Thank you, Noah, for participating in the chat and the live. So Noah Camres says he's just going to scroll. So Noah Camres says he wants to watch something else. I'm fine with that. You know, you're not forced to be here. Okay. So Noah Camera said that he has the edit on YouTube. So it sounds like he has a YouTube channel himself. Congratulations. So Sabrina, which is also Amelia Love, says she has a question for me. But what was that question? Zaire Davis says, God bless everyone tonight. May the Lord bless everyone tonight as well. And thank you for putting that in there, Zaire. So Sabrina says, I have a question for you. So Noah Cameron says he has the edit. Oh, Amelia. Sabrina is also saying edit advanced insight. But I never got what the question was. So I tried my best to find out what Sabrina question was or Amelia Love, but I don't see the question. So I try to respect the chats and comments. So Sabrina, She says she's 5. So I don't know if her parents made her get off the live or whatever. Maybe her parents said, no, you got to get off the live. It's bedtime. I don't know. And that will happen with some of the kids, y'all. So I tried my best. I try not to be rude. So one of the things about my lives is I will acknowledge the chat and I will answer the questions for free. I sure will. If you got a question, I'll answer it for free. I do this on this channel. There's a lot of benefits to coming to this channel. You actually get the attention you need here. So Noah, Amelia Love, also known as Sabrina, Noah Cameras. I'm trying not to miss anyone. I don't want to leave anybody out. Yeah, so it looks like it was pretty much Amelia and Noah that came in today. So thank you so much for the chat. They heavily participated in the chat and I appreciate it. So I'm going to release this video to the public right away. Give me about 30 to 40 minutes to get my description box updated. Okay. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Tune in for more right here with Advanced Insight channel. The vision I had last night, y'all. That's what this video was ultimately about. I know it was longer, but I had to also explain the background and the prior circumstances and what had happened throughout the years so you could understand my vision. Okay, I wanted you to understand my vision. Also, with helping you understand how to interpret your own vision. It's a beautiful gift to receive visions, especially when they actually from the Lord, y'all, the one most high in heaven. So tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Thank you. Bye.